Yeah, J.
Yeah.
Jacks.
Is this? I heard a big deal being made about this. I'm like, it's not even.
It's not.
Did I miss
the malice
part of
at
it?
the palace.
Is there something else
Although
that
it did end up in the stands at one point.
I am open to the idea that I've missed some kind of ulterior angles of this.
Back and to the left.
Yeah, I mean, I see the guy get trucked, and and it's terrible that he knocks a guy into the trainer or whatever lady that's there. It's terrible.
Support staff member.
It's ridiculous, but I mean, yeah, I've seen a lot worse, and look, you shouldn't get in a fight, especially in a game that, I mean, it matters in the sense that they're playing for $2 million prize, but it's winner take all, so most of them aren't going to get squat anyway, and so. But, the only thing that I find interesting about this is what are the ramifications for this thing moving forward? Like, I really have no time. I don't care who started it. The fight went into the stands. That's bad. People in the stands acted like they were going to do something. Ass kicking waiting to happen there.
Yeah.
But if that's how these games are going to all end, let me point out, college basketball in the 80s was becoming... There was a fight all the time. Like the Big East kind of was the trendsetter for this. They would have brawls all the time. And it was like, oh, it's the rough and tumble Big East. It was like the Pat Riley Knicks. They weren't that far away. And the league finally said, all right, enough of this. Like, we're not having a fight every time we play a basketball game. You people got to get over yourselves. And first of all, you should be able to play a sport and not have a fight. It's just ridiculous. I don't care what's at stake, and I don't care what the sport is you're playing a game. Stop being an ass, okay? End of discussion.
It's the heat of battle, man. You don't know.
Yeah, but sitting here, and it's not the heat of battle.
I know.
Okay? So, and then there are people that would say that, and it's not.
That's why I give it that voice.
It's you know what it is? It's the inability for you to be an adult. I mean, that's all it is. It's nothing more than that, and if you try to make it more, you sound even dumber. But I'm not here to sit and chastise people for getting into fights. It does happen, as long as nobody's really hurt. It's fine. It'll go away. But this is what stupid young men do. They find a reason where somehow they've been wronged, and so I can't win playing the sport. So I'm going to show you how tough I am. We're going to fight. All right, and when it happens once, that starts to become the norm. Right? It became the norm in the Big East and in college basketball in general. And so they said, and the NBA quickly adopted it. It was college basketball, I'm pretty sure, that had it first. But they said, you go out on the court and you're not in the game, you're suspended automatically the next game. And even, we'll go to the tape, you're done that game and you're suspended the next game. And guess what? It all stopped. It all stopped.
Yep.
Because you're not there to show somebody how tough you are. You're not there to win a fight. You're there to go out and win a basketball game. Except for this is a fake tournament. This is a fake tournament where, like I said, almost everyone's going to get nothing from it. Right. It's the palling around with the fellas, the camaraderie you get, bonding up with your teammates a little bit. And there's some enjoyment in coming together to a shared goal, working together. There's a reason why we like team sports. And so there's that element that's attractive. But also, you can also look around and be like, dude, that North Carolina team, or I don't even know who it is. I haven't watched any of them. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I don't hate this tournament. I've just found other things. Maybe I'm busier this year, and so I'm not taking it in. I don't even know if Syracuse has a team. A lot of years we've had a team of guys led by the feisty Eric Devendorf.
Oh, man.
He was on our TB team a lot. A guy everybody loved to hate. But, I think what you're going to – I will be shocked if there's not another fight in this tournament. Any team that's out and isn't going to win any money, what is the penalty to encourage them to act the right way? There's none.
And even in the aftermath of that, the player who did that, Marcus Keene, posted last night like a boasting. Man, I knocked him so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. He's a blank, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's like, dude, what are you doing? You can still erase this. And now he has. Someone got to him and went, that's got to go. But even after he calmed down, so to speak, an hour or so after the thing, he still was like, "Yeah, I trucked that guy, whatever the hell."
So and who won? I don't. KU won.
KU
right?
won.
So
Yeah.
KU won. So they're moving on. And so maybe you don't like Billy Preston's reaction or whatever. What is that tournament going to do? It's a fake tournament that is created to get a few eyeballs on it on TV or a few tickets sold in whatever town. Do you think the arena that's already sold tickets for the next round, or do you think the television network or streaming service that's carrying it? I don't even know where is it on now. Is it on ESPN?
I don't know.
Is it on CBS? Where was this thing on television?
It was on here. Pat Strothman was on the call.
Yeah, but
Well,
I know
on
he did.
TV.
On TV.
I mean, I know we had it on, so we
Let me
haven't
see.
we haven't a vested interest in it. My point is though, so like if you're like, okay, we're not going to tolerate that, your entire or 9 of your players are not going to play. You're going to have to play 4-on-5. Do you think where is it?
Fox, FS1, and FS2.
Okay. Do you think Fox is going to be like, no, we're okay. You guys forfeit, you're out, and we'll just advance this team on, and we'll just put color bars up. Kids out there, color bars are what at 2 a.m. the television networks used to throw up when they ceased programming.
Yes.
It was usually about between 1 and 2, and they throw these color bars up, and then a tone.
Yeah.
If you turned on the channel,
And the
that's
color
what you
bars
saw,
are a
that's
test
what you heard.
pattern for checking out the color of your TV.
Do we have,
Back
yes.
in the black and white era, it was circles and a
Uh-huh.
picture of a Native American.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm getting at. Fox is going to be like, no. They're
Yeah.
playing because we already have sent the trucks. We've paid the production cost, and we're putting something on our channel. You're going to play. So even if you wanted to do the right thing and say, well, these guys are suspended, the ones that are moving on, you probably can't do that because you've already spent the money to produce the thing, and you need the programming. So to me, listen, bad behavior, of course. It's uncalled for. You don't need to do that. It's ridiculous. And that goes without saying, though. To me, what's going to be interesting is, does this begin the end of this tournament, which is a clever little fun made-up sport at a time that there's only baseball programming right now?
Yeah.
A time where there's a hole in the market and you can get some, for dorks like me that just love competition, are going to watch competition over anything, you can get me to watch it. And you can sell some commercials on it. And if it's now over because we can't really control the players and get them to act the way they need to act, we've got fans. We're opening ourselves up to lawsuits from fans getting knocked around in the front row because the brawls are spilling into the stands. If the fans get involved and they strike a player, now the lawsuits are all over the place. And now the buildings are wanting to put in 3 times as much security to keep the crowd in line or to keep the players in line. And my security cost just tripled. And the buildings are now like, you ain't playing in our building, so now we got to go to a bigger building or a more expensive building. And the costs go up. I'm not kidding, and I don't really care. But if they don't act better, for the guys that are like, hey, it's kind of fun to go do this every summer, you may be taking that away from yourself, because if it's not a cost-effective way to get a few eyeballs on TV and to sell a few tickets in a building that would otherwise be dormant because it's summer and most things are all happening outside, well, don't bite the mouth that feeds you.
Yeah, because
Don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's even worse.
yeah, seriously, because unless you're a bird,
Exactly. It's what
a baby
thought I
bird, that'd be the
had.
one thing.
How are you? Oh my God, how do you bite?
Cheap. I did a poll, Curtis Opinions on Friday, where I asked, just KU and K-State fans, what do you think of that? Because it looked like the guys who were playing were having fun. It was a good time. Like it, dislike it, or don't care. 51% said like it, 4% said dislike it, 44% didn't care. So a lot of
About
people,
the fight.
about the
Tournament.
KU K-State that those games in that tournament. So 44% didn't care, but of the ones who cared, 51-4 like to dislike. So it was kind of for those who wanted to watch it, it was a good time.
Yeah.
They liked it. It was enjoyable. There was
Yeah.
almost no downside. That's probably feels a little different now after last
Yeah,
night. I'm sure people are going to change that differently because the KU K-State games were hard fought. There was a lot of jawing back and forth, but they kept it between the
But
white
do you
lines.
think they will the next time?
No.
I'm just telling you what history
I
tells
don't
me
think
is
they will.
that Once the door has been open, like, okay, nothing really happened to those guys?
Yep.
Okay, you wronged me. I'm going to shove you. I'm going to punch you. I'm going to, look at me. I can't win, so I'm got to be tougher in my mind. So here it comes. That to me will be the lasting part that comes away from this brawl is what it does to this tournament moving forward. And is it the last one? And is there any way that they can control the players who are not a collectively bargained union that is in business with the people putting the tournament on? I mean, right? Like,
what are you going to do? Fine me?
Well, I think that because I think there are people in the tournament that woke up going, I mean, we're getting some really good press on this. I mean, look, P.T. Barnum. I don't care what you say about me. Just make sure you spell my name right.
Yes.
Everyone's going to check it out.
No
then you have another fight.
Publicity.
Grandma Martha loses 3 teeth from an errant punch that's overthrown and pops her in the mouth, and she sues your ass for $5 million. Different view. Different view of things.
Mm-hmm. Money really does drive everything.
Yeah, we'll see. I might be totally wrong. Maybe they go down and say, listen, you're not getting paid. There's a clause in your contract when you sign this. If you bring any ill repute to us, we don't have to pay you. It's all that money's going to me. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you I'm the most knowledgeable guy about the TBT.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. Has it earned the right to be an acronym?
No. Most things who get nicknames are way ahead of schedule. By the way, something just popped up in my For You feed, which I think just kind of hits.
Wait a minute. Is this like your nickname that you put up there? Or can we say this on the radio?
This you can, because I think we're talking about the attractiveness of brawls and fisting, that type of thing. And boom, I see a guy post, Jerry Springer was peak daytime TV. I'm like, I don't know what the connection there is, but that was an interestingly timed thing. People would watch that show just to see it go off the rails.
Yeah.
So I hope, but I don't think people watch sports for that.
I don't either, and I think it may have a moment, and if they have 3 more fights, the ratings may go up and be like, oh, here are the 2 combatants here in the championship game. But the Jerry Springer show is no more.
Right.
And there's no other show like it.
Nope.
Because that gets boring.
Yes, it's the same thing, and that's why it went away. Eventually, okay, we've seen this fight before.
There's about 10 seconds of it that's entertaining. How many times, if you scroll on social media, I don't do much more than Twitter, and it's pretty much just a send thing, so I don't consume a whole lot of social media, really. But I've gone down the rabbit hole where you're like, oh, look at that video. Oh, look at the cat dancing. Oh, my God, how many meatballs does he have in his mouth? Oh, wow. And then you're like, I have crapped away a half hour, and you don't do it for days or weeks or something, but I get it. Well, that was Jerry Springer. Look at that. Is that a third leg? What the hell is that?
Did Geraldo get his nose broken?
What is in Al Capone's vault? I got to know.
Is he or is he not the father?
Yeah, they all had their 5 minutes, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't care who's the dad. And at some point, by the way, that kid right there, this is not a doll.
That's a human
being right there. I feel really dirty for sitting and watching this.
Right.
I'm going to not watch and act like I've got a conscience. Like eventually it went away.
Even a sport that's to where a violent part of it, I'm talking about hockey here, is kind of baked into it. People still, the fights that no one likes. I like watching a good hockey game. The minute a fight breaks out, I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
Name the 3 most memorable hockey games of any kind that you watched in the last 12 months.
Probably would be the Olympics.
Okay, the gold medal game. Maybe all of them. Okay, how about an NHL game?
There was a couple of, I don't remember the exact, because I don't follow the teams as much, but there was a couple big time OT games.
In
the Stanley Cup.
In the Stanley Cup. How many fights were in any of those games?
None that I remember.
0. Hockey, somebody needs to slap hockey some sense into it. They don't need the fighting.
No.
They don't need because their biggest moments, their biggest stage, their most eyeballs, nobody fights.
Particularly
at the end of a hockey, at the end of a playoff game when it's all decided, they all sit around and shove. They shove and push and all that. But they don't really fight if the game is in doubt.
No.
Because they're out.
They don't want to be out.
And because the NHL is like, all right, game 33, and it's now butt-numbing cold, And so, all right, let's heat things up a little bit. We'll have a bit of a fight. Okay,
Mhm.
you can do that. But now we're getting our biggest eyeballs. This crap stops.
Particularly now that with the advancements, to me, no sport has benefited more from HD than hockey, because you can actually
Follow the puck.
A lot better. Remember Fox tried that stupid glowing puck thing?
I love the glowing puck. Shut your mouth. Stop calling it stupid, and I will argue with anybody.
But there was a reason why they did it.
It turned red when it was over like 80 miles an hour. I mean, I knew it was a red hot shot at that point.
But there was a reason. There was a valid
Shut your
reason.
mouth
Even if you
complaining
didn't
about
like
that.
it, there was a valid reason why they did it, because you couldn't tell where the puck was sometimes.
Right.
Now you can. So the game is much more attractive to watch. The skill level of players is unbelievable now, and it's truly a global game, and it's I love watching. I never was much of a hockey fan. I love watching the hockey playoffs, even the first and second round, because every game seemingly is 3-2 in the third period.
By the way, if you want to watch a fight, there's a
Watch a
UFC
fight.
event every 4 days.
Oh, aren't they doing UFC 575 or 2,575?
UFC 679 is coming to you from the house floor.
Yes.
They're putting a ring, an octagon, in the House floor, and they're going to duke it out. And I heard some rumors that a couple of senators are going to go too.
There you go.
Well, there it is. You want to watch a fight? There it is. You can go watch a fight.
Yes, I want to watch sports. I want to watch
And
high-level athletes face off.
Well, and also, like I said,
pun intended.
go back to the social media and put in fight. Scrolling. There's 5 million of them. Okay? You there's no shortage. Like hockey can't outfight social media.
No.
All right, let's take a break. 913.
We solved all the problems.
We did. 913-3810810. The phone number 913-3810810. We'll talk some Chiefs football. We'll quantify some things that are going on with the Kansas City Chiefs and why they did what they did. 913-3810810. Chiefs, Sporting, Royals, K-State, Missouri, KU. Always a topic here in the program. 913-3810810.
The program with Soren Petro.
Nailed it. Suck it.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
I'll tell you who nails it. All Weather Deck nails it. They did for me. All Weather Decks did a fantastic job building our outdoor living space, and they will do it for you. Call 913-206-1974. Do it right now. Pick up the phone. I'll give you that number again, 913-206-1974. Tell them Petro sent you. If and only if you want a beautiful deck, patio, screened-in porch, pergola, maybe an all-seasons room. They even do those projects where they extend your roof line out over an area. They start in 6 or 7 weeks. So only call if you want to get this project going quickly. Like basically, if they can get the permits to them quicker, they might even start quicker than that. So once they have the permits, they are ready to go. And check it out. If you go to allweatherdecks.net, you can see photos of finished projects, see how great their work is, how beautiful these projects are. You can see the map link where they've done jobs all over the metro, so you can find out, they work in my neighborhood. You'll get on there, see hundreds, maybe even thousands of pins that have been dropped where they've done jobs all over the metro and even beyond. And you can even get an estimate going. Plus, you can check out all the awards they've won. They carry an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, 24 Angie Super Service Awards, Best of Houses, on and on and on. You can check it out at allweatherdecks.net. They're the most decorated. So if they start it sooner, finish it faster, and build it better than anyone else, and they can get going in about 6 or 7 weeks, why wouldn't you call? Beautiful fall weather is ahead. Have them working when it's super hot, and then when the beautiful weather is back, you can enjoy your great outdoor living space. We use our patio, our fire pit when it's chilly and cold. There's probably only about 6 to 10 weeks that we don't have times that we get outside and enjoy our outdoor living space. Go ahead. Call Weather Decks today. You can do the same thing. Call 913-206-1974. Find them online at allweatherdecks.net and relax.
This is SSJ. Spring and summer mean backyard fun. Kids in the grass, dogs running around, and cookouts with friends and family. But fleas, ticks, and chiggers can ruin it fast. That's why I trust Custom Lawn and Landscape. Their seasonal home insect control program helps protect your yard so your family and pets can enjoy it all summer long. And right now, when you sign up for the season, your first application is free. Visit CustomLawn.com today. Custom Lawn and Landscape. Love your lawn without the bugs.
Jayhawk fan.
You're listening to the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you for joining us. Enough about fight night.
Where's Max Kellerman? Is he going to be doing the...
No, really, where is Max Kellerman?
Yeah, where's Max? I don't know where he is. I'm seriously looking for him.
Max Kellerman was one of the headline firings by ESPN like 5 firings ago.
Yeah.
Like somebody sent me a thing like, you see ESPN's going to lay off? I'm like, they've been laying people off for 20 years. Why is this news now? I mean, it is, but I mean, it's like, beware.
Yeah, some of the names are like, okay.
No.
I think what's getting people now is money that's going to some people, and they don't have money to pay.
So they have money.
Others, they do, but
I think it's. I've read it. I'm not going to get in. Maybe we'll talk about that with Frank. We'll talk about it with Frank because Frank's kind of our TV insider.
Oh yeah.
So we'll talk about that with Franklin when he comes in here in the 3 o'clock hour. 913-810-810. I'm intrigued by this. Good? Yeah? Okay. All right. Make sure I'm not walking into, buzzsaw here. But I am kind of intrigued by where this will go. So before we get to where I wanted to go, let's talk to Keith. You're in the program, Keith. What's going on?
Hey, Soren. How you doing, bud?
Good, man. What's on your mind?
Appreciate the coverage, but something's just been eating at me. I've been traveling, and college told me you guys have not covered this yet.
Nope.
Okay, first of all, let me say, I trust you guys. I trust you. I trust Kurtis. I trust your team. I trust your guests. I trust Sam, Vahe, Nate, all the guys. I trust you. I trust our Kansas City sports coverage because you guys are great. In what world and how does this Kyle Shanahan thing get covered up by the local media and the national media? What's going on?
I don't know.
And so I know you guys would not do that. You guys would not.
No.
You guys would not do that. Man.
No.
Can you explain to me
what
you think is even going on in the background?
I think the closest thing, and I'm trying to remember when was the last. We had a coach. Didn't we have a coach trying? I mean, the obvious one is Britt Reed's accident, and that was immediately put on the air in the week that the Kansas City Chiefs were headed to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I think you can see how the Kansas City media chose to cover that differently. A questionable coverage was, I'm not even going to, because I don't even know how many people are still at this place that did this, but the Tyreek Hill coverage was really poorly done by the first people that had the tape, because they released only snippets of the tape and did not release the whole thing, and the whole thing told a much more complete story. Still wasn't great for the Chiefs, but it told a very different story when you put the whole tape out there. So to just release snippets, a snippet that had only one part of a conversation. I don't know how many people even remember. Basically, they put out a thing that it looked like Tyreek Hill. It was the mother of his child, significant other in his life, on again, off again. And basically she was accusing him of hurting the son, right?
I think that was right.
And when you hear the whole thing, there's an
airport or something.
They were at an airport in, I want to say, the Middle East on their way back from Europe, or they were in Europe on their way back from. They'd gone to Dubai. Dubai was involved somehow, and maybe they were in an airport in Europe or wherever. Anyway, she was recording this conversation, and then one of the local TV channels, night of the draft, puts out just the part that appears to show that Tyreek Hill was involved. And at that time, I quickly, like everybody, Mike Florio went on the air and said, if Tyreek Hill ever plays football again, I'll never cover football again. That was dumb, right? Like, because his career is over. A lot of people all jumped to all these massive conclusions. And, for me, just to give you an example of how that went down, I, made some calls, but I also was called. And somebody said to me, be careful. I'll never forget the words. They said, be careful. I said, what are you talking about? So you need to be real careful about how you cover this story. And it was somebody that knew about what was going on. I'm not going to tell you where they were involved, how they were involved, because I actually talked to people all around it, not Chiefs people, people outside of it and elsewhere. And I had somebody call and go and said to me, be careful. There's more to this than you're aware of right now. And I said, well, my first reaction was like, well, lay it on me then. Well, what am I missing here? I've heard the tape. I said, and that's what I said to them. They're like, you haven't heard all of the tape. And I said, what do you mean there's more? I said, there's more. I said, well, where is it? How do I get a hold of it? What do I, let me hear it. And they're like, I can't do that. But I'm just telling you there's more. Be very careful in how you cover this story. All right? My point of telling you that, Keith, is I'd like to believe that the way I've covered stories for a long time, I've built relationships with people, and when a story comes up, not only is there what I'm going to go do, and on the surface, a lot of people jumping to those conclusions with the information they had at hand. Why wouldn't you jump to those conclusions? But when you do things the right way, you handle sources the right way, you treat people the right way, and you cover stories the right way, the way they should be covered, and you actually take the word journalism serious, you build those kind of relationships. And even when you are, for lack of a better term, flying somewhat blind or even being sent the wrong way, those sources will pick up the phone and call you and go, be careful. I know how you like to do things, and you're headed in a wrong direction. And so my coverage of that was, listen, we need to wait. Is there more information there? What's his side? You somewhat kind of bury where, what you're getting told. I didn't know immediately what was on that tape. I would later find out what was on that tape and what was coming. I couldn't put it on the radio. I think if you've listened to the show for a while, there are a lot of times I'll say something to the effect of like, look, we usually know more than what we're saying on the radio. I would think the good journalists in town, if there's more than what they wrote in their story, there's more than what's in the television package they put together, but this is what we can prove. This is what is on the record facts, and so you start to cover the story and say, okay, I now believe this is going to go this direction. And so I began to say, listen, there's more time. I found out more things about the family, what was going on with the family. It started to become clear that what I was told was absolutely correct. Like, I'm going to tell you, my understanding to this day is that long before the mother was allowed to see the son, I don't even know, in fact, the story went away, really. Tyreek Hill was let back into the child's life first, and which is a sign of how Protective Services was viewing the two parents and how it was involved. And you still had people that were saying he's got to be cut, get him off this team, what he did. And I said, look, my understanding is that, he will be a part of the child's life. I couldn't say he is because I would be blowing the source that I had. But he's going to be a part of his life. It's my understanding because, in my opinion, I wasn't burning anybody because that's accurate. Mm-hmm. I didn't say he is part of his life, which he was, but it was accurate. And so you begin to put that story out there in the way it is. The Kyle Shanahan one, but I should have said this first, was charged with drunk driving, and people in the local media there knew it, and they kept it quiet till they opened training camp. And why anybody would sit on that story is beyond me. And I didn't go too far into reading it because I'm like, well, it's Kyle Shanahan, and I really didn't expect to be talking about it here. And so whatever I was worrying about, the cost of defensive backs for the Kansas City Chiefs, ranking my 16 Big 12 coaches took up my time, and then family, friends took up my time, and I didn't really dig into it, which I probably should have more. But my understanding is that there were people in the media there that knew it and didn't report it because they are the station that carries the 49ers, right? Do I have that right, Keith, as you understand it?
I think that's right. And the thing that got me first was, I mean, a car wreck like that, head-on injuries, that's public record. I just can't understand how it didn't get reported.
Well, so let me tell you one of the reasons why it doesn't. I don't know that any city, I would think in the Bay Area, with the amount of media coverage you've got, that there is somebody checking the public record every day. But I don't know that, like in this town, I'm going to tell you, when we get word of something, Todd's really great at that.
Yes.
He dives in and he does it.
He's a reporter.
But there was a time where the manpower was there that every day, and sometimes twice a day, the public record is checked. And that's a lot of public records that need to be checked when you're talking about a big city because it's different municipalities. There isn't the public record central hub. Right? So you got to check Olathe. You got to check Prairie Village. You got to check Overland Park. You got to check Casey Mo. You got to check, all these different things. Media, like every other business, cut. How do I quantify the guy whose job it is to call twice a day to all these things and say, I want to take a look at what it is? Some of it's been digitalized and everything, but there were 4 people that worked on this show in this industry. in this building. And the industry has evolved and changed, and you have to run leaner, and the things that we have to pay for to run this station cost more, and so people get cut along the way, or people leave and don't get replaced like everywhere else. So how did someone not know? Because probably no one's checking the public record anymore, and the ones that did know, at least are alleged to have known, are in bed with the teams. I mean, it was one thing when KCChiefs.com came out, and when KCChiefs.com, listen, it chaps my ass. I'll make no bones about it. That they have access into locker rooms and coverage and everything, and then sell that, where then they don't let the media into those places. So the Kansas City Chiefs are part of this as well. And that was like, okay, really, that's what we're going to do? You're not going to sell all this information, and you're going to control it. And you're not going to let other people in the media in, but they're going to be in. Do you think if a player goes, bat crap and has a fight with another player, they're going to report it? Of course they're not, right? And so who knows? And at this point, and I'm making no connection to anything that's going on with the Chiefs right now, but who knows what else has gone on? I'll go back to, was there a time where Jovan Belcher demonstrated some bizarre behavior that was seen by only people that are employees of the Kansas City Chiefs, and maybe something could have been said like, he's having a tough time. Like, I interviewed him 3 or 4 months before, and Kurtis, you might remember this. I remember coming away going, we talked about, in fact, part of my conversation was the collisions that happen on special teams.
Yep.
And he had a very bravado-like response and was like, that's my job. That's what I do. You run down there and you make it happen. And it really stood out with me. Then several months later, the tragedy occurs where he kills his girlfriend and turns the gun on himself. Was there something that showed that, that behavior? Like, hey, this guy's in trouble. He's got problems. I don't know. I know I can't get in there and see as much as they can. And so it's dangerous times now. And I've said for many years, listen, this is, like you said, somebody hurt in a car accident. This is more than football. This is a news story. This isn't about the football team. Most of the stuff I'm talking about is really all it is I don't, the football coverage. Now, I can give you opinions, and I think we can do an entertaining show if we don't get any access whatsoever, right? And again, like I was talking before, you build the relationship with people, and so I believe that I can bring you information that other people don't bring you because I built good relationships with folks with the local teams. But the real thing that you should be concerned about, Keith, is not Kyle Shanahan or the Chiefs or the Royals. It's that this is how the people who cover real news, they have to deal with this now as well. It's gotten to the point where all you got to do is watch. I mean, we're a broken country. Okay, I'm not saying it can't be fixed, but it's broken. The number one enemy is an American. For every American out there, their ultimate enemy is an American, and the news organizations are lined up on each side. That's your problem. Don't worry about me getting to the Chiefs or whether or not we find out. I just gave you some reasons. Kyle Shanahan accident, if the Britt Reed accident had been covered up in this town, those are problems. Those are problems, but those are exceptions to the rule when it comes to covering sports. They are the rule when it comes to covering the important things in this country. And it's just as broken, if not more, in that world.
Okay. I appreciate the explanation. I appreciate the insight. You just told me some stuff I never had heard.
Yeah.
And that's another reason I listen to you guys. That's
what we try to do, Keith, and I appreciate that. And thank you for the call.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a bad day for journalism that's not covered. I'm not going to, it's gotten a lot easier for me. There was a time where I was real defensive about it. I had to get over you people in talk radio, but I finally recognized, you know what? They're not wrong. There are lots of people that just there's stuff that's going on now around Eric Bieniemy that I think is reprehensible and disgusting by people who call themselves journalists, right? That are trying to capitalize and get some clicks and get noticed by attaching themselves and making accusations and including people and doing stuff that I think is utterly disgusting. All right. But it's not new to my line of work. And so I carry that burden of when you turn on this show, if it's the first time, if you move to town, you're like, well, let's see what the local sports does. You turn it on thinking I'm one of those guys. It's up to me to prove to you that I'm not. And I work very hard to do that. And there have been a lot of different stories, whether it's, hey, the Chiefs are moving to Kansas. And for 3 days, you heard all kinds of people in the media around here try to say that I was wrong. Was I wrong?
No.
Was I wrong? I wasn't wrong. Okay? And one of the things, I don't usually read the reaction to things, but you put it out on Twitter to mark your timeline that you were first and whatnot. But one of the things that was out there, somebody said, if Petro said it, it's true. I'm putting my tone into what it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, effing A right, Cotton. You know? That's right. I've worked 30 plus years for you to, when I write it out there, I knew it was what it was. When I put it out there, I wouldn't have put it out there.
Yep.
But just like that story, to give you an idea of like how do you do that? I sat in a parking lot near a remote for an hour and a half and was making calls for an hour and a half before that out around covering the Chiefs' press conferences that day. And that wasn't where it came from. Didn't come from there. But making those calls and making sure and saying, listen, this is where it's at. And then to this guy, this is where it's at. And this is where it's at. And then put it out there. That's what you do. When you get a story like that, people need to know. Right? They really need to know when people's safety and well-being is involved. 913-810-810. You're in the program. Not on the board. How journalism works. Where journalism is today. Not on the board.
If you had asked us when we left
But I love
the
the
air,
call, Keith, by the
Yes.
way. Thank you.
you had asked us if we left the air at 6 o'clock last night, what are the two biggest topics we'll talk about in the first hour tomorrow? A fight and a makeup basketball tournament and the ethics of journalism.
Right? It was not on the bingo card. But
That was not.
But let me say this, Keith. I appreciate your call and I appreciate your inquisitive mind. And I hope that, gave you some perspective or whatever. I hope it makes you think. And, at the end, you might be like, you're a dumbass. It's okay. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion for sure. But I will say this. That's one of the reasons why I like to take calls. Because I think that was kind of a good discussion to have and to put out there. And if you had that question, I think others had that question. And it's one of the reasons why I think in talk radio, New York talk radio was unlistenable because it's just 4 hours of calls and because they're just lazy. They don't build topics. All they do is there's 40 million people. Somebody will call. And so they roll through call after call after call. And listen, Keith, your call was a thoughtful call.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's be clear. Some of them kind of suck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lie.
That's for you.
I mean, there's some of you folks that we put goofy so-and-so or, be
careful.
There's a little parentheses.
Yeah.
Well, then that's kind of why we get a check is we need to then make that funny, not hopefully at your expense, unless you got it coming. But then that's our job to take that. Or if you're nervous and stammering through and for me to get, okay, I hear the point you're going, let me go ahead and clear this up for you and take control of the conversation and go. But, that's to me the good thing of talk radio is to have a discussion and say, here's where it is.
Yeah.
Here's what's going on. Here's an exchange of information. And so I appreciate your phone call. And I hope, we get a lot of people that are like, hey, I like that you still take calls. We don't take 4 hours of calls, but we do like to try to take calls every single day. And so when we have the phone lines open, that's why I tell you, now this didn't fall under Chiefs Royal Sporting, K-State, Missouri, KU. But those are the big things around here. And that's why we say they're always a topic. Because if you've got something on your mind, probably somebody else has that same something on your mind. So I digress.
But digest.
Yeah, we'll go from there. I don't know that I can give justice to the thing. I'm going to do the Jersey deal with Ohio State because I can't do justice to what we wanted to talk about with the Chiefs now.
Yeah.
Ohio State got a jersey deal. Am I right on these numbers? They got a sponsor that's going to be on all their uniforms, and they're getting $17 million. What is of note of that? What is of note about that to me here in Kansas City, and what I think is of note for sports fans? Number one, I think everyone's going to have a deal, right? I hope those are made public. By the way, can I say this? If you congressmen and senators are actually going to waste my tax dollars jerking around trying to run college athletics, okay, if you're actually going to do that, which I find a preposterous waste of your time, okay, but if you're actually going to do it, if you're going to give them basically what they want is antitrust exemption, basically so they can be a legal monopoly like you've given to the NFL and Major League Baseball and NHL and NBA, that's what they really want. If you're going to do that, then make every financial transaction of these clubs public record. If you want to, I have spent many an hour looking through your public school budgets. And even those are, and I exposed some of them at a time that I had a dispute with one of the school districts, but they are wrought with fraud. Okay? If we're going to not only be giving these universities state monies, which I don't want to hear that, no, the athletic department's just, separate entity. I don't want to hear that. It's no, the stadium, the universities are paying for stadiums. The donations are coming from the same people who are donating to the academic side. No, I don't want to hear that. But if you're going to get involved in this, can you at least make everything public? I don't want it to be reported. I mean, I love the reporting that's being done by someone who got the word that has the relationships that we're talking about, that it's $17 million for Ohio State's patch. But that should be you should be able to go to a website and see exactly how much you pay in each coach, How much is their travel cost? How much is the food? How much is the room and board? You should be able to see it all. If we're going to pay for it, we should know where it's going. Okay? And we're paying for it. Public universities that don't get state money, or excuse me, private universities that don't get state monies, fine. Run your business the way you want to run your business. But public universities who are already getting millions of state dollars and federal dollars, and now we're going to have our politicians who are supposed to be doing things for us, wasting their time. And this is not a party thing. This is both sides.
Yep.
Wasting their time on this, then at least let us see what the blank you're spending the money on and where it's all going. Make that be transparent. It's one of the things I've said about, and Kansas didn't do it, but I talked to some of the Kansas lawmakers. Make them talk X number of, okay, we're going to give you $3 billion to build a stadium and another, or be a part of however many billions of dollars they're going to give of this $5 billion dual project that are going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. Make Clark Hunt talk X number of times per year in a setting where even some fans can line up and go ask some questions. Let's have some transparency here when you're doing this. Anyway, my overall point was $17 million for Ohio State, $15 million for Kansas. Kansas brand's doing pretty good.
Not bad.
You know, it's not as much as Ohio State, but it's either Ohio State or Michigan's the biggest brand. Maybe Indiana's going to creep up there now if they're going to be this good in football all the time. But the biggest brands of the most lucrative league when it comes to the amount of money is behind those schools. Kansas got 15 out of 17, got 15 million a year compared to 17 million. Kansas brand, at least, is still pretty strong, I would say.
All right, 5 pitchers have started an All-Star game for both the AL and NL. Who was the first? Brought to you by Twin Peaks.
You all right?
Yeah. Did you have Cosmic Crisp on your bingo card today?
I did not. It's been a day of surprises. Curtis comes bearing apple slices.
Yes. I like apples.
For his favorite apple,
Apples
which is the
and-
Cosmic Crisp.
Cosmic
Yeah.
Crisp is my jam. Apples and nanners.
Okay.
They're-
I like bananas.
Yeah, same here. I eat one every morning.
Every
They're,
morning, yeah. I'm a banana guy. Not in the morning. Usually it's around lunchtime.
Two fruits that are good for your
do the first
if you have
thing,
blood sugar issues.
Is that right?
Yes, they're two of the better fruits to eat.
Dr. Seaboldt has spoken.
Yes,
that's
he
what
has. God bless him.
that's what my doctor says.
I'll save the rest of that for the next commercial break. We'll start chomping on a Cosmic Crisp.
My doctor says those are good. The muffins, maybe you want to hold off on those. maybe don't eat all that.
I can't resist. I always like to take my advice, my medical advice from a guy who's out of breath just coming back
Yes.
down the hall.
True story. True story.
Right.
Yes,
hello.
My favorite was one of those. I had to run down to my car to get something. I came back up and I realized, oh yeah, I've got a
Hop on the air.
sports center to do real quick. I can't think of who was running the board then. I was like, yeah, you're gonna have to push that one. I ain't gonna make it. I ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, there we go.
So you got that going for you.
There
it's
we
the
go.
old-
Yeah, sure.
It's the old Patton Oswalt did this joke about going to see Guns N' Roses like fairly recently, and he goes, what's the Axl Rose comes flying out from the wings, looking not as much like a serpentine as he used to.
Yeah.
He runs across the thing and he grabs the mic. Welcome to the jungle.
Take it.
He's over there holding the wall. The shenanigans is
Yes.
so perfect.
That's the best part.
Oh.
I mean, you used to be able to be hopped up on heroin and
Yeah.
run
Oh,
for
yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was 40
They're on
years
tour
ago.
again, aren't they?
Yeah,
Did I
probably.
hear Steven talking about he's going to see him?
It's
Who's
amazing.
not on tour again?
It's amazing how long they go.
Yeah,
I
who's not
mean,
on tour.
I went to see him when they played Arrowhead, and it was pretty good. Like I thought they did a pretty good job, but he not quite what he used to be.
I've
Oh,
seen
God,
some
none of them are. It's amazing.
several videos. You know who needs to not be on tour anymore?
Vince Neil?
David Lee Roth.
Oh, really?
What? Is that a word?
Did he ever
No, but I mean,
really enunciate
I've just seen some
much?
stuff. That all the hair's cut real short. And
Well, it's because it's all
gray
fake.
and-
He
yeah.
went bald,
I'm
and
just
then he
like,
started doing plugs, didn't
What is going on there?
Wow,
People are like,
just-
yeah, Dave.
he? By the way, we have
time
had,
to stop.
just as a sidebar, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, just grow old gracefully. Just
Well-
let it go.
As a sidebar, we've had, and listen, do whatever makes you happy. I don't, shave your head, but, wear a wig. I don't care what you do. Just if you, whatever makes you happy. But Landon Donovan,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
which I love that he doesn't sit there and be like, what are you talking about? I love that he's like, he embraces that he, had the hair weave or transplant
Yeah,
or
right.
whatever it is. And then,
Whatever it is.
I don't know what the
I know.
term is. I mean,
You'll never have that problem.
that's
No.
my hair is getting thinner too, like
Yeah,
everybody
whatever.
else. Oh, okay,
Stop
yes, I have more hair than you.
And
But I'm looking at pictures of Landon Donovan. It's just like there's no way that hair's.
no, I
And
mean,
then you see this.
yeah, I mean, it's such that I think you'd spot it even if you hadn't seen him be mostly bald.
Yeah,
a year or
right.
two ago.
Hilarious.
But who I was trying to think there was somebody else, but the other one is I know you guys don't watch NASCAR, but Joey Logano was the front guy of one of the hair transplant club, ad campaigns for like a year or two. He's bald now. Like, did we have him
Just
falling
gave
out or
Yeah,
what
his
happened?
hair
What
was
happened?
gave up.
falling out.
But he was
literally a falling out.
He was their
hair was falling out.
He was their pitch man, and he was like, "Ah, man, it's, it's my hair and all this." And now it's like I was like, I don't remember what race it was. They're going through the starting grid, and like Joey Logano, I'm like, "Whoa!"
That went quickly.
Yes, I don't know if it was at the beginning of this year, or beginning of last year. I was like, "Okay, well, that was an about face."
There we go.
Old people.
I always see that stuff too. You
All
see
right.
the other stuff, that stuff you just sort of supposed to rub on your head and then your hair will grow. I'm just going, wait. Nobody really believes that, do they? They don't buy that stuff, do they? Really? I can't imagine. Curtis and I'd be perfect. Curtis and I'd be perfect.
Yeah.
You want to see if you can grow some hair? Here's our heads.
I
get to work.
You know what's funny? You always covet what you don't have, right?
Yeah.
Because I got a buddy
Which is why I covet everything.
Oh, damn.
because I had a buddy who would always, he's follically challenged,
Yeah, sure.
and he would complain about it. I'm like, dude, it's like, what's the big deal? He goes, yeah, that's what you think because you got here. I said, listen, I'd be happy to be bald if I didn't battle my weight.
Yes.
He goes, I'd be the fattest fat ass if I could have hair. I was like, what? I go, you're kidding me. I go, I'm dying of a heart
way.
attack little by little every day.
Yeah.
You just don't get to run your fingers through your hair. For
Or
God's
have
sake.
somebody run their fingers through your hair.
If one of us
You're
is going
not
to
paying
be,
for haircuts. There are positives to what you do.
I'm
My
with you on
shorts cost more.
Yes.
Okay,
if one of us is going to be at the other person's funeral, who do you think is going to be in the box?
Well, you.
And who's in the seat? Now, if you're you do this to this person who's in great shape but has no hair, you're like,
or in the urn.
pretty sure you're going to be attending mine.
I was just like, wow. I go, really?
And you're going to go,
oh God,
well,
yes.
at least he's dead, but at least he had hair.
Look how good he looks.
I sure would trade places with him.
Look how
He's
good he
dead,
looks.
but man, he looks fantastic.
Yeah, look at that. Boy, the makeup was good, too.
No
Look
one
at that
said
hair.
no one
My
ever.
God, that guy had hair.
God, I wish I were dead.
Dead.
Some guys wish they were. Yeah.
Well, they say the number one fear of is public speaking. Number two is dying. So if you're at a funeral, you're better off being in the casket than you are giving the eulogy. Whatever someone said. Based on that, I was like, I never thought about it that way, but
I mean, I'm dead, but at least I'm not having to give a speech.
I was to get up in front of the congregation and lie about this guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
good stuff.
All right. So, yeah.
He was a great guy.
Okay, we got that covered. We started out with Cosmic Crisps.
Started out with apples, and then
Curtis
with
is eating
eulogies.
healthy, and we end up with, well, he'll soon be dead.
Yeah, I'm eating healthy now.
Oh,
It's what you chase it with
there are
afterwards.
several hours of the day in which you do not see me.
Yeah.
oh God.
All right.
All right, here we are.
Yeah.
We have digressed.
That's very much like the Royals or Chiefs.
No, I want to ask Frank about the folks in San Francisco not reporting on Kyle Shanahan. What do you think about that?
I think it happens a lot these days.
Is it? I still.
I think it happens a lot in like.
Is the deal that the people who knew about it were the station that the 49ers preseason games play on? Is that what it is?
Yeah, but I'm surprised
Look that up,
was
would
the
you?
only outfit that didn't know. Especially
did
in
know, you
something that did know. Something that horrific. I mean, he almost lost his eye. He had like 20-some stitches in his face. I mean, he really busted. I mean, that was a heck of an accident, okay? But even if just their flagship knew or whatever, I don't understand why no one else got wind of it for so long. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Because it was a public report and you guys were talking about it, unless the police hid it for a period of time and didn't want to get him involved.
And I will tell you, who were we talking to? Do we?
You had somebody from San Francisco on.
I'm trying to remember. I was on with somebody. This is terrible.
That's all right.
But somebody was asking me, I don't know if I was on the air. I don't even remember who the hell this was. And they were asking me about covering something. And I said, well, is it they said that the police weren't cooperating.
Okay.
And weren't putting something out. I said, well, are they calling it an open investigation? And he said, yes. And I said,
was that on the drill? Talking about Josh Jacobs?
that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. And I said, it was about Josh Jacobs. And he's like, the police aren't doing anything. He was and I said, well, are they calling it an open investigation? And he said, yeah. I said, well, because that's the headline I read, is that it's still an open investigation. I said, what you've got to be careful of is what happened in Waco. Is that where Baylor is? Baylor's in Waco, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to be careful of what happened in Waco, because part of what brought Art Briles down was there were sexual assaults happening on campus, and the campus police, which was I guess technically counts as police,
Yeah, they do.
simply would leave the investigations open and never close them, so they were never a matter of public record.
Right. And you didn't
And
have
the
to talk
only-
about it.
Well, the only way that it came to light were victims were first, who are supposed to be protected, got fed up and bravely said, this happened.
Yeah.
And I'm coming forward. To me, that guy did it. This is where it was. There are records of it in the police department. What's going on? And then it finally, and under public pressure, it started coming out. All this stuff started coming out. But the police, I think it was the campus police. If I'm wrong, it was like the Waco police, were basically in cahoots with covering up what these Baylor players were doing.
Yeah.
And Art Briles was fired ultimately because once the information started coming out, he was absolutely aware of what was going on and was not dismissing the players.
Right. He was part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of the cover.
And it ended his career. And remember, who tried to hire him as an offensive coordinator? Was it an NFL team or was it a college team? Somebody was going to hire him as an offensive coordinator. Did hire him, I think. And it lasted about 48 hours. And then the public pressure was so much that they're like, okay, we're not going to do it.
What is he doing now? Is he doing anything?
I don't think
Did
so.
he go to high school or something? Did he?
Did
he go to high school? I forget exactly.
I'm sure he went to high school.
No, I meant, to coach after he got in the middle of all
Well,
this stuff.
you know what? AI's never failed me. So let's dive right in. Yes, Art Briles is still, according to AI, Art Briles is still coaching and currently serves as the head football coach at Eastern New Mexico University.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let's
back his career to that.
Yeah,
when
that's
he
what
got
I'm
left Baylor.
That's what I'm looking here. Head coach, Eastern New Mexico. Well, I think this is his first year. Before that, he was at something called Gilfie Ferens. 19 and 20, he was the Mount Vernon High School in
I
Texas.
thought he went to.
But there's
high school.
on here twice, an 18, Gilfie Friends. What the hell is that?
Sounds like a private high school.
It's on here
Yeah,
twice.
The friends part.
Italian Football League.
Oh my gosh! Never mind.
Let's see, on
Profession-
August
oh, yeah,
2nd of
professional.
2018, Briles was announced as the head coach of Gilfie Firenze, American football team located in Florence, Italy, a member of the Italian Football League. In his first season in Italy, Gilfie Firenze went 8-3 overall, losing in the final. Then he goes and does that stint. He returns to high school football, Mount Vernon High School. He was in a college game when he was hired by. Okay, this is it. On February 24th, 22, Briles returned to the college game when he was hired by Hugh Jackson as the offensive coordinator for Grambling. However, prior scandals prompted Briles' resignation only 4 days later on February 28th.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I remembered. Then Briles re-signed to coach the Gilfie Firenze in the Italian League in 22. He led the team to a 6-2 regular season and 3 playoff wins while winning the 41st Italian Bowl championship game with a 21-17 upset over Milano Seaman. Spelled like you'd think. Not really. On July
Is it like
2nd.
the Seaman High School in Topeka.
SEA?
Yeah.
I don't know how the others spelled, so because I'm spelling challenged, but
Drop the A.
I thought it is okay.
Drop the A and add an E. 2 E's.
2 E's.
Okay, I just thought I'd be funny.
All right, keep going.
And then
16.
on November 23rd of 25, so last fall, Briles was announced as the next head coach for the Eastern New Mexico Greyhounds.
How about that? Back in college football, and they are a Division II team.
Well, they're in the LSC conference, which is the Lone Star Conference, Division II.
Okay, so I thought. Well, there you go.
He learned something new every day. That was
he's
quietly
back.
done.
Yeah,
Because when he went in at
definitely.
Grambling, when Hugh Jackson tried to hire him at Grambling, there was a backlash.
Yeah,
But shocking.
right.
Uh,
See, I think a lot of things that happen with like this NFL thing with Shanahan, etc. Other things that have happened like this. I think a lot of now, if it's their flagship station, they worry about losing that contract. Okay, you know what I mean? But if you're somebody on the outside, like say it's not the flagship station, but you're just you're just a regular channel in town. I think they are now afraid of losing their credentials, which they really can't do, because you can go to the commissioner and say, because we reported this, which is factual, they have lifted our credentials. And the NFL does not allow that to happen. Okay, that comes down from the commissioner's office. You can't do that. Now, they could, I don't know if they could restrict your access, or when you request something, say you want to have Patrick Mahomes on your radio station, or you want to interview Patrick Mahomes on a one-on-one, they'll just go, no, I'm sorry, he's not available to you. He's just not available. Just get it off the podium, and you're welcome to do that. But we're not going out of our way to help you since you broke this story. So, or we asked you not to, which that is really.
I've never been asked
really
not to
no,
report something or by anyone.
No.
You know. By the way, this there's a text. Who is this guy?
Matt Barrows.
Yeah,
He covers the Niners for The Athletic.
okay. Kyle Shanahan had a group of reporters in his office. This came out. When did this come out?
Earlier today.
Earlier today. Kyle Shanahan had a group of reporters in his office to clear up the circumstances of his July 14th car crash.
July 14th.
One key detail that was mishandled in a state database, it was Shanahan who crossed into oncoming traffic, not the 21-year-old driver of the other car. Shanahan said his cell phone slid off his lap and he went to retrieve it. As he came back up, the airbag had deployed, breaking his nose. He said he remembered the crash clearly and never lost consciousness. More details to come. And one of the first responses said, "This is why journalism is important. That girl may have been blamed for the crash without the publicity."
Absolutely, she
Yeah.
would have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, her police report would have it on it. You know what I mean? Definitely. If you crossed into your lane. When I first heard it, it almost sounded like it was a single car accident, that he somehow lost control, hit a parking meter and a wall and something else and all that sort of stuff. And it was like, wait, so was he impaired? Which never, you don't know. Or
11
whatever.
days?
I know.
In this, I mean,
in this day and age.
how in the world?
Who checks the public record?
Yeah, but
I'll
I mean,
state again. Who?
Yeah, but I'm thinking,
we used to have
is
guys.
there someone who works at a hospital or SOMS? How many people were involved in that wreck that knew
That somebody didn't
what it
snitch
was
it out?
and no
Yeah,
one
I-
that
I-
didn't leak?
I agree with that.
I'm amazed.
I agree with that. That a lot of times, like I said, Todd is the bulldog in here that will go check the public record, but he's not checking it every day. I mean, he has other things.
If he has
that
a
he's
lead or he hears something, he'll go and
And they might not have even known then until, but it was the day when they opened camp, and usually Shanahan talks, and instead it was
right.
Whatsy.
Well, but and that's and so I don't know what the motivation was to not put it out, but supposedly some of these people knew about this and didn't put it out there.
Yeah.
And that's why I talk about there was a time where, covering the news was about covering the news.
Mm-hmm.
It was not about generating the maximum profits. And so you had a lot of beats and people on desks that were not the part of the paper that was read very often. But once every 3 years, it's the most important part in the paper.
Right.
But it's been cut. And listen, radio and TV never had the staff that the newspapers did. And so it's the newspapers who have cut people, and it's not their fault. It's our fault too. It's the entire industry's fault.
Yeah.
But they were the ones that you could count on. They had someone who would go check the public record every single day.
Yeah.
And so this wouldn't get by. It'd be like two car accident, two people. Kyle Shanahan. Wait a minute.
I think I know that.
How old? 46 years old or 51, whatever he is now. That's Kyle Shanahan of the 49ers. Let's get on the phone. We got to go. He was in a car accident. What's going on?
Yeah,
And you start calling people, and you get to the bottom of it. But I don't know if we'll ask Sam if they have somebody that's on that every single day. Maybe they do, but maybe in other towns they don't.
Yeah. Back in the day, we had reporters who were responsible for certain beats. You know what I mean? Like, they're responsible for City Hall. They're responsible for the police beat. They're responsible for, Jackson County, somewhere in the county legislature, Lee Summit, whatever. We had a guy on our desk who every day when he got in made calls starting at 1. And then after the 6 o'clock news, he got back from dinner at about 7:15 or so. He was on the phone all night calling every municipality, every guy he knew. That's how they made their contacts. And then when they wanted something out, they'd call him and say, hey, we got this deal. I think you might want to be on it, but those desks now are empty. There's just nobody manning those things. And they don't give anybody any time to do stories like that anyway. You see a lot about the heat at the state fair, but you don't see anything of substance hardly anymore.
Which is a shame because almost every scandal that happens that's come to light is brought to light by hard
media, journalists,
particularly local news reporting.
Mm-hmm.
The newspapers and television stations, that they're the ones, the national reporters aren't looking at some mayor or some city council.
And then they'd come to us and say, hey, what's going on? Just like,
they will, but they're usually tipped off by somebody locally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like if you're watching 60 Minutes or something like that,
it's the people who
start
are
with
there
them going,
every single day.
Let me go to this little town and ask about this little kid that somebody's like, hey, you ought to be aware of this.
It's the folks who are there every day covering the same people and they've cultivated sources and they go, oh, really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
That stuff never gets broken by national people.
No.
The business is way different now. There's no doubt about that. Fewer people to cover more things.
Oddly, there's more because of the internet. There's more media outlets, but there's fewer actual reporters, seemingly. Maybe it's a generalization, but it's
no. I think there's many more people doing what we do, just offering opinions.
Yeah,
and a lot less people going out and getting the facts.
Yeah, establishing the whole story from beginning to end.
By the way, Frank, did you like the renderings of the Chief Stadium?
I guess that's the way it's going to look. They're going to end up calling it, instead of calling it Arrowhead, they're going to call it the Chip. It's like a giant potato chip on top of it.
The Pringle.
But
is that a problem?
No, it's not a problem for me. I don't mind.
I do worry.
I don't know
our
how
punt's going to hit the roof. Like usually we dome it up the other way, but I actually kind of like that because I thought it was different than just your usual standard.
Yeah. Look. Look. It didn't bother me at all. My only thing, every time you get one of these translucent roofs, a roof that is sort of translucent, it's going to let light in or whatever. You worry about that when, you look up, but I guess it's going to be shaded enough or opaque enough that it's going to let the light in.
I talked with some folks and I'm like, I had some people tell me, well, we had a guy call me, is it going to be a greenhouse in there? And the response I got was, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like literally I got, come on, man.
Yeah. I think the stuff they're using
I think we know a little. Yeah, we're doing a little better than
we're advanced.
Yeah. It's also the greenhouses don't have air conditioning.
Yes.
No,
okay. Like they
and the stuff
are
they're using, I guess, is
and built and use the things to do that.
Super efficient, and it deflects all.
It does not deflect. Well, we'll see.
What was it called?
We'll see because supposedly they just had a hailstorm in Minneapolis, and they have some of the translucent on the Minnesota Dome, and 65% of it was damaged.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know that it was damaged like, oh, my God, it's raining in here. Was it just dented, like your car gets
or chipped,
dinged up or something?
Yeah.
Is it something you can repair? But that dome is now also, about 10 years old?
Mm-hmm.
So presumably things have continued to progress and gotten better.
And we've got hail here. we do.
We do.
We do get tornadoes or whatever's got to withstand everything, especially where it's sitting. It's not really. There's nothing to block anything. Coming down I-70 right there.
Yeah.
Built using translucent ethylene T something ETFE panels that provide climate control while letting natural sunlight inside.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the deal too, and this I don't know about. Is it going to be the roll in, roll out real grass, or is it going to be turf? Artificial.
There will be real grass, is my understanding.
Great. That's
now
they'll roll it in and out.
Well, there will be real grass, is my understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how though.
All right.
I think it will be a roll it out.
Yeah, just like Arizona.
But there are a couple of stadiums in New Zealand that are indoor with grass, and it doesn't roll out. It is being done.
They've figured it out.
They have figured it out.
Okay.
I would think if you're the Chiefs, that building is a lot better concert venue, convention venue, if you roll it out.
Roll it out, yeah. Basketball, yeah.
For all
Final
those things,
Four.
you don't want people walking around on your grass.
Yeah.
Like, I know they're doing concerts at Kauffman now here and there, but did you see the outfield after the con? It looks like that every time. I'm like,
Yeah.
I understand why you do it. You do it in the summer. I would think that you're more like hey, look, we're a March, April, and a October, November concert venue. That's
right.
what we are. But I toured. Doug and I toured the Glendale Stadium right before it opened because they were finishing it up. Maybe not. I don't know where they were. Because I know we had to wear a hard hat, so I know they were still working. And we toured that when we went to spring training one year.
I remember when you did that.
And so it was that fall. So there was that fall that it was going to open. And because I got to keep the hard hat. People are like, why do you have a Cardinals hard hat? I'm like, well, it's a Arizona football Cardinals hard hat. And because they gave it to us after we did, they were excited for us to come talk about it. But when you roll their tray out, I think it's every 8 feet, there is power and data lines in the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So like if they want to do a convention and they wanted to do booths that were 8 by 8, everybody had their own electricity, everybody had their own data line.
Smart.
And so, that to me is what you'd want to do because you bring a big concert in, you can pretty much figure out where they're going to want to control the lighting and all the production that's going on in there.
I didn't even think about conventions.
Plug right in.
Well, I didn't even think about the convention thing. That's
I think one of the things that Glendale said that they were trying to get, I don't know if they ever got it, but there was a big construction convention that was in Vegas, and where they bring in cement trucks and dump trucks and all this, and you need a big giant floor where those kind of comes cranes and different things that they can roll in. And so they said that was one of the things they were hoping to steal that away from Vegas, and they needed the entryway. Everything's got a place where you can drive a car out there, but they made it so you could drive a crane. Think about a giant crane over the top, so that they were going after getting this construction convention away from Vegas. I don't know if they got it or not, but that was one of the things that you could do in there.
Yeah, the tray with the grass on it will take up some space, outside obviously because in
Glendale
takes up
that
a pretty big space.
It does, and in Glendale that's the player parking lot, and that's also where they bring the buses in because the tray goes inside on game day.
That's right.
And so they bring in, and that's where all the players park.
And then once the game's over and they all leave, they roll the tray back out. Oh, that's a great
Give it some
idea.
sunshine.
That's smart.
And then I know the stadium where Tottenham plays, which is the main one that the NFL goes to. In fact, they just finally went to Wembley this year. Wasn't it a big deal this year or last year? Or this year being 25 or 24 was the first year they played someplace other, or they played at Wembley, and that was a big deal because Tottenham built a new soccer stadium, and it has 2 trays. It has the grass tray, which, as we know, the EPL and the World Cup
you have to play on grass.
wants to play on, but it also has right below that, and I don't know if it comes out and then it raises up or how it works, but right below that, they have the turf tray that they use for when American football comes and plays over there.
Oh, so they used the artificial.
You're not messing with the Tottenham pitch.
No.
You Neanderthals can run into each other over here on this fake crap.
We don't play your football. We play our football.
But my understanding is that the Clark is adamant it will be grass.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I think that's great.
One of
so do the players.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm sure.
They like that way more.
One of the complaints I heard about was that they got the points, and I'm like, did that what everybody wanted? They loved Arrowhead because it had the points. They thought that was iconic, and then they put that in the renderings for the new place, and people are like, oh, so it's just like Arrowhead. Well, make up your mind. What do you? It's different people, but
that's
like they're trying to say we want this modern stadium, but we want to have a little bit of what people remember about the other place. I really like the design. Well, it's just kind of boring. I'm like,
what did you think
Arrowhead
it was
is? It's not a baseball field.
Well, nobody liked the baseball field
different angles and stuff. I mean, it's kind of
the renderings they've seen it come up. Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Where's the crown? Where's the fountains? Which I agree with everybody. And the Royals heard it. They've been like, listen, there'll be a crown and there'll be
all those things.
But I'm with you. I was like, I asked some questions like, so those seats, I guess that those will be the cheapies. You know what I mean? Like that's not exactly the premium spots. Why not build it up more on the on the sides and have more seats that you could sign, sell for more. But they really do want it to have an appeal.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. It is going to be different as far as the width because it is going to be built to hold soccer.
Soccer, yes, it will.
You're not going to be carving out sections to make the pitch fit.
That's right. So you're going to be a little further away.
You're going to be a little bit further away on the sidelines.
Yeah. So unless and we have the greatest sports
have found a way to move
firms, unless they can find a way to move, it comes automatically and moves down closer when it's the football. It'll stay like that 90% of the time. If we get the World Cup back, we'll have the women.
But after having that event, I mean, for one thing, if you do that, you then can have. I don't know if the friendlies have to be played on that big a field or not. Have we had the U.S. men's team play? I know we've had the ladies play, but they always play at Sporting Park because I've been out there to see the U.S. women's national team play. They played Japan, I think it was, and I went out with my daughter and saw that. But so I have probably that's wider, but I don't know. Have we ever had a men's national team game at Arrowhead?
A friendly?
We have. No, yes or no? Yeah, it's always been at Sporting.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So now, if the popularity of the national team grows and you're like, we need the capacity for that stadium, you could bring them in and have a bigger capacity because they'll be able to fit that field.
It'll be interesting to see when the women come, if we get, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get something from the women's deal, especially with the current stadium. Which
what year are they coming?
Women's are 31. And I think that
you have a cough button, by the way.
I know. Don't worry about that. I don't care. Too old to worry about cough buttons at this point. Okay, about ready to go.
I'm just happy to be coughing.
To you anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. So so when they come, Arrowhead will still be there, even though the men supposedly will be switching over to the other stadium, and they're thinking about maybe for the women we use Arrowhead. The old Arrowhead, we'll see what happens. There'll be a battle for a little bit of that as well, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. But the women will probably play on Arrowhead or
it would be
in the new stadium.
Wild for the first event to be held at that new stadium would be the
Women's World Cup.
Before Chiefs games played, they've got World Cup games going on.
There was one of the new stadiums that had something like that.
Was it?
Yeah, I can't remember somebody.
That sounds familiar.
But was it L.A.? Did L.A. have
something there
before either one of the football teams got in there? I can't remember, but I don't care where it is. Just make it in my town.
Yes, make it here. They did a great job with the World Cup. So
yeah. All right, we'll take a break. We'll get some Frank Opinions. The Godfather, Frank Pohl, is here. He's brought to you by our friends at Applause Custom Sight and Sound. You want a real home theater? Applause Custom Sight and Sound builds that. True smart home technology? Yep, they do that as well. They've been doing it for more than 20 years. I know they've been in my home for more than 20 years. You can call today. Get an appointment, 913-498-1183. Find them on the web at applausetheater.com.
The program with Soren Petro.
I just answered this question.
I feel like I'm asking a different question.
Well, give me the same answer.
Okay.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Listen, you know about the savings at Hen House. If you don't, let me tell you, just go to henhouse.com. You click on that weekly ad, and it shows all the different specials that are going on. Specials all over the store. So if you are looking to get some dinner going, how about the previously frozen, skinless, boneless chicken breast? Best tasting chicken you're going to find anywhere around. They're just $2.99 a pound. That's $1.30 a pound you're saving. How about the whole classic beef tenderloin? They sell that in cryovac. What we like to do is buy a couple of them. It's in that cryovac, so you throw one in the freezer. You got one that you're making for dinner that night. That's just $14.99 a pound. You save $2 a pound. Slice it up into some steaks. Make an unforgettable meal. All these great specials are good through August 9th. So shop right now at your neighborhood Hen House. Or, like I said, go to henhouse.com. And don't forget about their wonderful different departments there at the Hen House. Whether it's their produce. Did you know that more than 70% of their produce is raised within a couple hundred miles of Kansas City? That's miles of freshness, people. Local family farms. That's where more than 70% of the produce of your neighborhood Hen House comes from. That beef I was talking about, we're talking USDA Choice Certified Hereford beef. That comes from right in the Dodge City area. It's the best beef anywhere around. It's trimmed 1/8 inch trim, not a 1/4 inch trim like those other guys. And if you are looking for their award-winning salad bar, I am once or twice a week. Make sure you get in there. They do such a great job. The men and women who work on that salad bar are absolute artists. It looks beautiful. It's the freshest produce. It's the best salad you're going to find anywhere. So tell you what, Tubby, Mix in a salad from your neighborhood hen house. Find all these great specials and more at henhouse.com. Remember, Hen House, now 100% teammate owned.
Men, if your energy is down, your workouts aren't producing results, you're gaining stubborn weight, losing muscle, sleeping poorly, or just not feeling like yourself anymore, it may be more than just aging. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. Our low T and body composition treatments are designed to help men regain energy, improve focus, sleep better, build lean muscle, reduce unwanted fat, and restore confidence both in and out of the gym. At Heartland Men's Health, we specialize in helping men optimize their health, performance, and vitality using personalized medical treatments tailored to your health and goals.
All right, the Twin Peaks end of the hour answer. 5 pitchers have started an all-star game for both the AL and NL. I asked who was first.
Oh, first?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Clemens didn't ever make the all-star game with the Astros, did he?
He did start. He started in 2004, I think, for Houston. He was
so
one
he
of the
did play
5.
some full seasons down there?
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't remember if that was the case or not. So he was not the first?
No, he was. There have been 1 or 2 since then, I think.
Since then, but he wasn't first. I thought the question was first,
Yeah,
not last.
who was first? He was not the first.
Okay. Give me a time frame.
Early 70s, late 70s.
Nolan Ryan?
Nope.
Tom Seaver?
Nope.
Early, so one in the early 70s and then one in the late 70s?
Mm-hmm.
Ferguson Jenkins?
Uh-uh.
Not Robin Roberts. What am I?
At one point, he played for the Royals.
Oh, Gaylord Perry?
Nope. Around that time, though, with the Royals.
Well, who am I?
Wasn't like a Vita Blue.
So did he start with the Royals? No, he played with
say?
Vita Blue.
Vita Blue.
You son of a so annoying.
1971
Just
for
sit
the
there in
A's.
silence like a sniper. And
That's not Vita Blue, is it?
good Lord.
Don't peek out from the side of that building. I got you right. My crosshairs.
1971 for Oakland, 1978 for the Giants. The others to it: Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson, Roy Halladay, and most recently Max Scherzer.
If you're so smart, Frank,
Don't.
let me just
I'm
try one of my
not.
favorites on you. Who was the last American League MVP to be a switch hitter? How about give me that one? That's a great question.
Oh, Carlos Beltran.
Nope, never won the AL MVP.
Okay. Shoot, can't be Mickey Mantle.
Nope, since Mickey.
Switch hitter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
This is still true, right?
I'm not sure. It was for
What
years.
switch hitter is?
I don't
done
think.
it
I think
anytime
there's
recently?
been one since. I think you're
It's
right.
Vita Blue, you dumbass.
won the MVP
That's
and
right.
the Cy Young in
Back at you.
71.
I like that.
That's my favorite question
That's
because
a
you-
great
you go through, you're
question.
like Mickey
Yeah,
Mantle,
you're
Carlos
going through all these-
Beltran,
yes, right,
Eddie
exactly.
Murray.
Carlos
No, no, no,
Beltran.
it's a trick question, dumbass. It's Vita
By the
Blue.
way, Vita Blue was the coolest looking pitcher I've ever
Oh,
seen.
yeah, absolutely.
His name was Vita Blue. He had his wind
His
up was
wind-up
cool.
was great,
His
yep.
his left hand would almost touch the ground.
Yeah.
He kicked that leg up, and he was just the coolest. Dude.
By the way, I think you were off. Were you off the
Jimmy
last time?
Rollins.
Jimmy Rollins?
Switch hitter, right?
Not for the
League.
American League.
Oh, okay.
He is
Yeah.
a switch hitter, yes.
Yeah,
But
last one to win it for an
the
AL.
American League, punk.
The American League.
I saw he had this perturbed look on his face, and I was like, this is going to be annoying if he pops my little get back at you question. He's like, you're wrong, dummy. I'm like,
Shut
by
up,
the way,
dumbass.
did you, was it last week when he was off that Tolbert pitched? He's pitched like, he's got more
Yeah.
appearances than like Bailey Falter now, and
yeah.
And half of
not
their
a good
team.
thing.
No.
But did you see it? Or did you happen to be watching the game then? I know
I-
you might not have watched it if you didn't
There was
talk
one.
about
I remember him being in the game. I didn't think anything.
You
he spoke
had to
about.
love the way he leaned in and took the sign with the arm hanging down, and he would take the sign, and all he was doing was throwing cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had the arm hanging, and
Yeah.
he would dangle it. Like, who used to do that? Was it Mike Musina?
Craig
or Ben
Kimbrell
McDonald?
did it.
Kimball
Craig
does the thing
Kimbrell.
where he has the
Well,
arm like this.
He has it up like that. He had it just hanging and kind of dangling, and I was like, God bless you, man. I loved it. I was like, look at you.
Yeah.
And then,
And then he got lift.
Then 61, 58 is coming in there. I'm like, you really leaned in for the sign to just throw the old cookie. Okay.
That's it.
Let's get to some frank opinions, Curtis.
By
Get
the
off
way-
your ass and do something.
He's allowed 17 hits this year, and he has
It was
20.
12 for 12.
He has 20 hits, and he's allowed 17.
Which,
And
which
he
would
was
be more?
12 for 12.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Do I smell there can be only one question there? I think I do. Remind me about that one. I got to get that one on the sheet.
Damn, I should have put that on as a frank opinion. That would have been kind of
That's
fun.
right.
Well, let's get started.
Let's get started good. All right. First, most importantly, did you miss me last week? Yes? No? Who were you again?
Or you were off?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. You're despite some of your battles on Twitter,
Yes.
I think you're mostly liked. I'm going to
For the
say
most
yes.
part. Number?
You're not that popular though. I mean,
And also one of the possible answers was, who are you again?
yeah. 73%.
74.
62.9. 11% said no. 26% said, who are you again?
Yeah. Why am I following you?
What? There was one. Kansas fans, are you watching the TBT? Yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
They can't get it.
They love it.
They love their basketball.
The answer is no.
Oh.
Probably because people don't pay attention to
'Cause they
Kansas
fight?
fans.
No. Yeah. 'cause they
Number?
don't-
Yeah, once they graduate, yeah, you're gone. I don't care who you play for in the pros. Go. Goodbye. See you. Who's up next? Who's the recruiting class? What'd you say?
No, answer's no. Number?
Okay. I'll say 60.
61.
72.5. Have you been laid off by ESPN? Yes or no?
Yes.
I still have a contract with them.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No wonder they're going
They're
broke.
not going out of business because of me. I only get paid if I work. No, I don't know how people would answer that. This is a total joke, so I'm going to say no.
I threw it out there
I'm going to say no.
You said?
Oh, no.
Okay, number?
Gosh.
78%.
It's 79.
79.5.
Yes, I win one. Yay, Frank.
What a great number.
God,
by
look how
me.
close that was.
Holy cow.
That means 21% of our audience has been laid off by you.
Yeah, we're very popular in Bristol. The app,
Very much
people.
so.
The app.
Would you go golfing with a 110-degree heat index? Yes? No? Hell no.
I know why he asked this question.
He posted a picture of
I was with my kids and we
yeah,
played on the 113-degree
Garrett and Lauren
heat index and Grant.
And Grant.
We played out Eagle Bend and
What are
Lawrence.
you doing?
So we got three answers. I'm going to say, hell no.
I think that's what they'll say.
Number?
You?
I'll say
Three choices.
I'll say 60, even despite the fact there's three choices.
59.
43.4. 37% said no. 19.5% are insane. How many players currently on their 25-man roster with the Royals trade before the deadline? 0, 1.
Wait a minute. It's a 26-man roster.
26-man roster.
You know.
Yeah, on the roster.
How many people will they trade before the trade deadline?
How many people on their current roster, their big league roster?
40-man? 26-man? Does IL count? 10 and 60?
Your wife's a saint.
Hey, that, hold on, 100%.
How many will they trade before the deadline? 0, 1, 2, 3 or more?
I'm going to say 2.
2.
Number?
Me.
You guys have been on the answers today. You haven't missed one yet.
0, 1.
2, 3 or more.
48%.
47.
38.9.
Yes.
27% said 1. You guys are 5 for 5 on the answers. How many games will the Royals lose this season? 85-89, 90-94, 95-99, 100 or more.
And they're on pace to go 68-94 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so what was your, how many?
85-90, or 85-89, 90-94, 95-99, 100 or more.
95-99.
Oh, boy. Yeah, 95-99.
It's 90-94.
Oh, God, I was going to go there.
Number? Your first miss.
Your rank.
Mom up. I'll say 41.
I think those are going to take up a bunch of them right in there. I think I'm going to try to thread the needle. I'm going to say 40.
49. 32% said 95. 11% said 85, that range, and 8% said 100. Do you like the Chiefs' new stadium renderings, yes or no?
Oh, gosh, they still have there. I'll say yes.
Yeah, I'll say yes, too.
Number?
I'll go with 72%.
71.
69.5. To preview our Big 12 coaches rankings, who will win more games at their current job over the next 5 years? Lance Leipold, KU, Colin Klein at K-State.
Colin Klein at K-State.
Yep. Colin Klein
Number?
at K-State. Mine? I'll say 65.
66.
73.7.
Why were you so sure of that?
Because I think some KU
You're
fans
very
are down on Leipold,
Yeah.
so there were some KU fans that
All right.
chose Klein, and I think all K-State fans chose Colin Klein.
Okay. Well, of course. Yeah.
How many home runs will Sal Perez hit for the Royals? Fewer than 340, 340 or more.
What's he got now?
He's at 318,
318.
and he's signed through next year. It's under 340 or 340 or more?
Yeah. Fewer than 340, 340 or more.
I'll say 340 or more.
Yeah, me too.
Number? Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's fewer than 340. My bad.
Fewer than 340, so they think he's got
Fewer than
less than
340.
22.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go fewer than 3. I'll go 59%.
58.
60.
Oh,
You guys have been on it. Will Jack Caglione ever hold the Royals' career home run record? Yes or no?
no, he'll sign with somebody else.
Yeah, he's not hit well of late, so they'll be down on him a little bit, and then the likelihood of him finishing his career, I'll say no.
Number?
I'll say 70.
69.
85.2. Would you like to see the Chiefs have an alternate uniform? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Number?
Me?
No, me.
Oh, gee,
81.
82.
61.8.
Oh my gosh.
And finally,
You gotta be kidding me.
better snack, apple, banana.
I'll say apple.
I'll say apple, too.
Banana. Number?
You, Frank.
65.
64.
52.2.
Ah!
7-5.
Boom.
Winner, me. Where does that make us overall now, my friends?
That makes it 15-10-4 in favor of Soren. In the aggregate, I've got 171 to 165.
I got 169 to 167.
Well,
we were tied last week.
I've got him with 9 wins.
No, he had 7 wins.
Well,
no, you had 7 wins today, which gave him 169.
I won 7-5 today. I keep track of this because I'm not going to let
I got it too.
try to
It's right
pencil.
here.
Don't have a brawl.
It was
Don't have a TBT
162,
brawl.
162, Kyle.
Oh, my bad.
Last week.
There were a couple I may have missed.
So 15-10-4, and then so 7-5, I would be up 169 to 167.
Yes, you are. That's exactly correct.
Yeah,
But
there
you're
you
5
go.
ahead in
But
the big game.
we know this. I'm dumb on current events. Let's find out how stupid. What in the world, Soren, is next? All right, what in the world, Frank? What do you got
All
for
right,
me?
buddy, here we go. We're getting smoke from fires from Canada. Europe is being overcome by smoke from fires raging in what two countries? Europe.
Boy, Norway.
Spain and France.
Okay.
What 340-mile race started today?
Tour de France?
No.
No, 340. They do way more than that. 340 mile?
Uh-huh. Here.
Here in America?
Yeah. On the Missouri River.
Oh, I don't know.
The Missouri 340.
Okay.
All right.
Good
That's
name
what
for it.
Emily Bluma is always
Oh,
involved
yeah,
with
okay.
that. What reptile species was spotted in Johnson County yesterday?
Armadillo?
No. Rattlesnake.
It's awesome.
Big one.
Good to
Some
know.
KC bars want the city to allow them to stay open until when?
5A.
Yes. Very good.
Really?
1 for 4. That's pretty good for you.
Wow. Do we need to be up till 5A?
All right, how many players have homered in 8 straight games? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
What's that? What we got there? Can I see the shirt there?
I got where? Oh, it's Kansas City Star shirt.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's cool.
That is cool.
Drawn by one of our, drawn by our illustrator at the
You guys sell them?
I don't know.
Well,
I'll sell. You think this one will fit you?
Yeah. Yeah, but one arm.
I'll sell it for a certain price.
Go back to when I was 5.
Question is, what would you pay for this to fit you?
I think I'd rather have hair. I'm not sure. That's just to continue the joke. I don't even know if that makes sense. It's just a callback.
Yeah,
the punchline is the only important part.
That's right. That's right. That's all that matters. Sam McDowell is with us here in the program. Sam, how are you?
I'm all right.
He's brought to you by our friends at All Weather Decks. Find them online at allweatherdex.net and relax. Training camp's off and running.
It is, yeah.
Been, a little different as Eric Bieniemy having a family issue to take care of, a pretty serious one, obviously, and that supersedes anything that goes beyond what is football. We'll say that first. I think it goes without saying, and so it's an obvious family emergency, family crisis, if you will. How much does this set so I want to set the human part first and foremost, but we talk about the sports part here. How much does it set the team back, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously some. I mean, you hire them for a reason, right?
Right.
And I think the primary reason you hire Eric Bieniemy is to establish a certain culture and expectation, and that was coming across in the first 2 days. I mean, there were a lot of F-bombs in the first 2 days of just the rookies being there, and obviously some injured players coming off of injury can be there as well as the quarterbacks. But, yeah, I mean, I should preempt my own thoughts on that as well with this. I mean, it's just a terribly sad story. And,
yes.
And, I mean, for whatever your thoughts are on Eric Bieniemy's performance in the past or him being the new offensive coordinator or even like his press conference where it seems like he can veer into – not seems like, he does veer into saying
cliches.
Same. He is always been really good to us, even so. He still will have a conversation with you when he sees you. And so, like, you feel for the person a lot in this situation. I mean, just the amount of things that must be going through his mind when he receives that news. It's hard for me not to picture him receiving that news in just that moment and
I had that
for him.
exact thought is like, how did he, I'm assuming somebody from Virginia called and, and it may even have been his wife, calling.
Yeah.
Or it was, medical people arriving on the scene, and to get that call and to be like, not, it'd be bad enough if you had to drive 20, 30 minutes home like you and I would, or 15 or whatever it is to get home to handle that. I've gotten bad news before, and I know it was like, oh my God, and to then get that bad news and be that far away from home where you can't just get there.
Yeah, and it's a 1-2 punch.
Yes, it's both. Yes, both sides.
There's so much that must be going through his head that really, I mean, is unimaginable. I mean, you're right that is the most prominent part of this is thinking about that. It's hard not to think about that aspect. The Chiefs, they are forced to think about the next. I mean, they were forced on the next day, on Monday, for the third day of rookie camp to think about, okay, what's next? Because he is such a big piece of what they're trying to do this year. And that includes like literally calling the plays to the quarterback. And it does include being the loudest voice on the field. Now, Chad O'Shea has a voice too. He is from the sidelines. The offensive coordinator stands behind the play, as does Andy Reid, and watches it from there. But, I mean, receivers are certainly hearing it. And I thought back on the first 2 days, which was before this had happened. It happened after the practice on, they practiced earlier on Sunday before this happened on Sunday night. But I thought about on Sunday as we're sitting there talking to, I think it was Cyrus Allen, that he probably realizes that when Patrick Mahomes had told us over the summer, yeah, you guys are talking about EB, but these guys don't know the real EB yet. And I thought they probably have an idea now over the first couple of days, because that is what he brought. And like I said, you hired him for a reason, and that was the very reason. Like you brought him in for more so for training camp and culture than you did for a guy who's going to draw up a play on the whiteboard and help you out in that way. And I'm not saying he's incapable of doing that. I'm just saying the purpose of bringing him in is now.
What they were missing was what he was going to bring now and setting the tone for the team.
Yeah, and just reestablishing the culture and the discipline and the expectations and I mean, you can say all those things, but he's got a certain demand of the way he even talks. Like, you don't want to be embarrassed on the field in front of your peers, and he's perfectly willing to call you out in front of everybody.
Yeah, no, I agree, and you know, it's something that, and the question had to be asked yesterday. You might even have asked it. I can't remember who asked it, but about, you know, a timeline. You have to ask, knowing full well that the answer will be that we don't know. And I thought Andy did a nice job of not bristling at that question. The question has to be asked. If you don't in your comments say we have no idea when he's going to be back, you know, and he's going to take as much time as he needs, and that might be a while. And that's where I'm at. I think it might be a while. Like, I don't think this is going to be like, okay, she's good, we got her home, and I because like you said, there's both sides of this. He is a father to someone who is accused of a very bad thing that is clearly hurting in some way, shape, or form to do what they did. And then he's also the husband of someone who has been seriously harmed.
Yeah, and there's actually a third element of it, which is, I mean, his wife is the primary caregiver of his oldest child, which, you know, is disabled. And so, like, there's a lot of elements that Eric Bieniemy is considering right now and having to think through that he never imagined here on, you know, 2 days ago, July 26th, that he'd be thinking about it all.
Yeah. So, you know, the roles that everybody's in, they might be in for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a perfectly valid question to ask, and I agree with you that I thought Andy Reid did not deliver a ton of information. First of all, it's not his place to deliver that information.
He was originally, if people don't know, not scheduled
not going
to
to speak at all. But I thought, you know, his responses to questions were not. No, I can't tell you that, or no, I don't want. Like, he gave you more. He gave more than I anticipated he would in that moment, and good for him for standing up there.
Yeah, and I think he understood the questions needed to be asked and had to be asked, and he was the one that needed to step forward and answer them as much as he felt he could. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Anybody jumping at you?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll caution by saying. I've really so they didn't do this camp last year, the rookie portion of the camp, and Andy Reid said he regretted it, not doing it. I do think they need it this year because of how many rookies are going to have to factor into what they want to do this year, especially defensively. Like, you need Mansour Delane to play a lot of snaps. You need Peter Woods to play snaps. You need R. Mason Thomas to play snaps. You might need Josh Kennedy to play some snaps, Jaden Kennedy to play some snaps as well. Like, so the rookies, I think, could use a head start that they weren't afforded last year when the Chiefs opted against this. Plus, you need your quarterback maybe to get his feet wet a little bit before I mean, they had 3 offensive linemen out there, and so that's all they have available. So, and like at one point, like Trey Watson's the only tight end. So, I mean, man, does that guy have to be winded after the first few days of camp? And I'm sure he's a guy who wants to prove that he belongs on the roster, but also probably can't wait to be able to rotate some snaps with some veterans. I have been fooled in the past about guys who I thought had really good rookie camps, and then, you know, veterans showed up, and then the pads come on, and they just slowly start to fade. So it's a really long-winded answer of saying that I've cautioned myself, like, not to read too much into.
So you're refusing to answer the question, is what you're saying?
Well, you know, I mean, I keep my eyes on, like, Mansour Delane, like, almost every play.
Right.
And I've actually thought about this as the most exciting positions you could have from, like, a media perspective to evaluate. Number 1 would be quarterback. I mean, he's involved in every single play. I actually think number 2 would be cornerback, though, because he doesn't know the ball's not coming his way. So he has to defend every play, and doesn't matter as much that pads aren't involved for him as it does anyone else. But I'll say Mansour Delane, I thought, had a pretty up and down weekend.
Okay.
I don't like he was not shut down cornerback over the first 2 days. I mean, he certainly got beat on some plays. I also think he's getting his feet back from missing some time in the summer and trying to catch up on the conditioning portion because wide receivers rotate in and out. He was out there every play. And I think that shows when you get deeper into the drills about one guy's fresh and one guy might be kind of winded on some of those plays.
Yeah, that is the guy that we're all looking towards. He gave up a touchdown. I saw some people talking about, well,
Yeah.
he,
more than one.
Yeah, but I mean, so is that a concern?
I think it certainly has caught enough of attention to pay more attention to it when the veterans arrive, when he does get to rotate in and out to see, is it a product of what I said, which I absolutely think goes into some of it. And how does he match up when the pads come on? Because he is good at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. It's a key part of his game. He's not doing that right now. He is still in a yellow jersey as well. Like he is still working his way back from a shoulder injury. He says he expects that it'll be sooner rather than later before he's a full go. It also struck me the way that he acknowledged that being the 6th overall pick comes with a different stature than I think a lot of guys at the podium. You'll hear them say, "Hey, we're all on the same page now. Now we're at camp. Doesn't matter where you were drafted. You got to go out and win your job." And he actually acknowledged that there's some pressure that comes with being your team's or organization's first pick of the draft and just being number 6th overall. That is part of it, that there's a different expectation, which is, of course, the truth. It's just not something you hear a lot of players actually recognizing or publicly recognize.
Yeah, and you mentioned there's a ramp-up stage to what's going
100%,
on.
especially for a guy who missed the summer. Like, he
Yeah.
missed the back half of the summer with the shoulder injury. So, yeah, he's got a ramp-up stage. And that's why I wanted to preface it by saying you could really get lost by reading too much into what goes on over the weekend at rookie camp.
Yeah, the big times are when they get everybody out there.
Yeah.
And that's when it is. Now, you can look at it and be like, well, is he taking this serious? I mean, he's going to have to.
I think the fact he played so many snaps shows that he is. I mean,
Yeah.
he could pretty easily, tap his helmet and call himself out and say, I'm gassed, because I thought it looked like he was gassed.
But he's trying to fight through it and build up the endurance.
Yes, I think he's using this purposefully and saying, I got to be ready for when the vets arrive. I got to be ready for when the pads come on 10 days into camp, whatever it is. I think he's thinking this is better for me to stay out here, even if it means I might get beat.
He was a wrestler, which I always like when I read like the backgrounds on everybody and they had like Creed Humphrey was a wrestler too, I think.
Yeah, he was.
I always think that's a
If you're a football player from Oklahoma, you probably wrestled in the winter, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
But I always think that's a good sport to have married up with anybody who plays football. I mean, the discipline, the training, the willingness of contact, the footwork, the leverage, understanding of leverage and everything. But it's not very often it's the corner. It's usually the linemen and the linebackers. It's not usually a corner that wrestled. And so I am kind of, I think that's probably one of the things that Spagnuolo loved.
Yeah, and that'll be something.
And Dave Merritt, too. They love the corners that will tackle. And
I was going to say, that'll be something that doesn't show up during camp, right? Like, that needs to wait till the games arrive, really, because that's the biggest difference between camp now and even 5 years ago, but especially 10 years ago, is the physical players don't get to show everything they have during this time of camp. So that's why, it's really hard to judge like R. Mason Thomas or Peter Woods. And that's why I meant by, evaluating a quarterback would be great, but second might be cornerback, because when the Chiefs have picked, Felix Anudike-Uzomah, when they picked Josh Simmons, and a lot of, obviously Xavier Worthy was sandwiched between there, but when you pick linemen, you sort of have to wait till the linemen get to like one-on-one days later to kind of, and even then, I mean, it's such a small sample size of reps. You can still get something from them, but it's not near to the extent of watching a cornerback every single play try and defend the play as though the ball's going to be coming to him. I will say Mansour Delane seems to have a recognition of the rest of the field. And I actually wonder if Steve Spagnuolo, appreciates that or is going to try and coach a little bit of that out of him in the short term, because his eyes are frequently on the quarterback as he's defending. You know, he's not just a guy who just, as great as Trent McDuffie was, I think his eyes were locked on the receiver, right? That's why great coverage guy, not a lot of interceptions. It's not like he had his eyes in the backfield a lot. Mansour Delane is definitely somebody who seems to be paying attention when the ball has been released.
He's able to do that, and that would speak to him being picked higher too. I mean, I think part of that would probably be he doesn't have the greatest length though.
No, he doesn't. I mean, he's 6 foot. He's bigger than McDuffie was,
Yeah.
but you know, he's not, you know, what L'Jarius Sneed is, for example.
Yeah, super long type of guy. Because when you are longer, you can stay in touch with the guy and peak, get that peak because you can still feel where he's going if you got the longer reach. But yeah, I mean, I think he's clearly one of the guys that has to play and has to play well.
Has, like, when you look at the rest of their depth chart and think about their most valuable pieces, I mean, he's top 5 on the list, even though he's never played an NFL down, because if he isn't a player, then what does the cornerback spot look like? And that was the very question that prompted the Chiefs to trade up to number 6. So they thought, well, if we don't have a top corner, this isn't good enough. Like, the Chiefs have already answered that themselves by, trading another 3rd-round pick and another pick just to move up 3 spots to 6. They decided it was that vital, and I agree with them. It is that vital. I wouldn't have made that trade, but I do think it's that vital of a position to where you think, if he isn't the guy, what is the answer at corner? Or if he's hurt, whatever it might be. If he's not your number 1 or 2 cornerback, it looks pretty thin.
What is? Are you on the Cyrus Allen bandwagon?
I thought he had a really good summer. Another guy that I think really eager to see, once there's more contact, because his footwork looks really good at the line of scrimmage. And so, but how does that translate to when you get bumped off of that? Can you keep your balance? Can you stay on your route, within the first 5 yards when there's contact? Because that's a major adjustment at this level. I will say all the rookies draft picks spoke on Saturday or Sunday, and they really seem to, there's a lot of awareness with this group. And I'm not saying there wasn't in the past, but it stands out.
What do you mean, group. Define awareness? In what way?
I think of recognition of that you haven't arrived just because you were picked, that there's some things you have to improve. Cyrus Allen speaks a lot about the fact this isn't college anymore. And there were a few guys that spoke in that way. R. Mason Thomas talked about the fact, some stuff you can get away with in college, you can't get away with here. And so I think there's an awareness that these guys have to improve if they want to play at this level.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. I thought Cyrus Allen, definitely exemplifies that. I mean, the way
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
it's big boy football.
It is, and look,
that was his line. It's big boy football.
Yeah, I mean, I think for any player, even if you're number 6 overall and you knew this was going to happen at some point last year, if you're Peter Woods and you were projected before the year to potentially be in the top 10, even you thought the NFL was pretty realistic. I still think that, even walking down the hill at St. Joe to practice probably gives these guys a certain feeling of wow, this is it. And this is different than what it was in college. Probably sleeping in the St. Joe dorm room is different than being in whatever facilities Clemson or LSU have as well.
You think they're a little more posh?
Yeah, I think maybe it's a recognition that you're here to work and not for all the other stuff.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a great thing, because as someone who has to drive to St. Joe every day, I'm not advocating that this is the best setup. But there's a reason Andy Reid does it, even as most other teams, a very high percentage of other teams have gone the other way.
By the way, we all expect when the training facility is built that's where they'll do it, that they'll move training camp down there and they can have everything there. Will Andy Reid coach a game in that? Will he coach anything in that facility?
I don't know. That's 5 years away. I think that the over-under would have to be no.
I mean, 68 now.
Yeah, so I think the likelihood is no. That he doesn't coach in the new stadium, or he doesn't coach in the new training facility either.
Yeah. You think about it, you're like, ooh. Okay.
I mean, people were reporting 3 years ago that he's retired, though.
Oh,
So
God, don't get me started. Don't get me started on that foolishness.
He is far past what some people not only expected but literally reported. So it's not. I mean, it's not a 0%, but it's definitely less than 50%.
Yeah. Marv Levy was in his 70s. Dick Vermeil was 71, wasn't he? I think maybe 72, somewhere in that range when he went 10-6 his last year. He got to the 70s when he was still coaching. Pete Carroll,
74.
We had the list of guys that have coached into their 70s. It's not overwhelming, but he's not there yet either. He's 68. Just turned 68. I think it's been 6 months. When is Andy's birthday? It's been a little bit.
I don't have his birthday. I know it is.
Because I looked it up and I'd been calling him 67, and I'm like, well, I've been wrong about this. He's 68.
Yeah, it's in March, like kind of towards the first week of free agency, I guess.
Yeah. So he's got 2 more years being in his 60s. Then after that, got to go. Is that what you're saying?
Is that the cutoff?
No,
just the line in the sand.
I do think this is a really, really big year for him,
for his future, beyond this year. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I think if he went 6-11 again, it would be a make or break year the following year. I don't think 6-11 would get him fired. I think it would have him answering some questions to Clark in a tone that's been different than they've had at any time, except for maybe when he was 1-5 in his 3rd year and coming off a non-playoff year. There might have been some questions at that point. I'll never forget Andy standing there going, well, listen, we've never been in this situation. But we'll get it turned around. That was the one time. I mean, at that point, we've said it a number of times, he was 12-18 in his last 30 games with the Chiefs.
Yeah, they were 1-5 that 3rd year.
Yeah, they were 1-5. The year before, they were 9-7. They lost to the Colts in the big blown lead game, and they finished 2-5. Because they started 9-0 and they'd finished 2-5. And then a lot of people like to drag back. I don't know, how bad did he bottom out in Philadelphia? Was it 3 or 4 wins? What was that?
4-12 that last year, I thought.
4-12. A lot of people wanted to then add that 4-12 on, and they're like, this is what he is over this long. I mean, it was pretty loud. I mean, people, it's revisionist history now, and nobody talks about it. But that 3rd year at 1-5, when they headed to London to play Detroit, there was plenty of people saying it's done. It was a bad hire.
Yeah, I mean, he's earned probably an extra year beyond when he should be considering that. I agree with you that this is a big year for his future because this year requires him to change. They can't roll out the same offense they have the past 2 years, and some of that is a change in priorities. Some of it is a change stylistically, but it is a change. And if this season goes south as a result of not changing, then I agree with you that, he's going to have to answer some. I mean, look, we asked those questions this year too, but it's not like we asked him as though his job was on the line. We asked him because it's just what I just said. It requires you to change.
Mm-hmm.
Reed turned 68 on March 19th of this year. There have been 4 coaches who have coached the NFL game as the full-time head coach past the age of 70. Pete Carroll, George Halas, Marv Levy, Bill Belichick.
That's it? So Dick didn't get there?
Mm-mm. Romeo Crennel was an interim coach at 73, but only the other. Carroll, according to CBS. Let's see how old Dick Vermeil was.
I was thinking he got to 70. All right. We will take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit.
He looked 50. He always looked 50.
Wow, it still looks great.
I know.
I remember Dick
almost 90.
Well, you'd see his workout, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. I mean, he was in there. He was one of those guys that's like from machine to machine to machine to machine, doing the. I remember him doing the hanging, raise your knee crunch thing, and then off to another thing and off to another thing. I'm like, oh, gee.
He turned 69.
Slow down, Dick. You're making the rest of us look bad.
He turned 69 during his final NFL season.
Okay.
10:05.
We'll talk about the trade deadline less than a week away. Sam McDowell is with us here in the program. He's brought to you by our friends at All Weather Decks, Kansas City's best. If you want a great outdoor living space, go with the best. More than 15 years, locally owned and operated, most decorated outdoor living space builder in Kansas City is All Weather Decks. Find them online at allweatherdecks.net and relax.
All right, the La Feta Delicatessen, end of the hour answer.
Just grab it and yank it around however you want. Don't worry about this part.
They used to stretch a lot more.
Yeah, it's different. This one.
Now they're mounted. How many players have homered in 8 straight games?
Griffey.
Correct. He was the last to do it. Hit his 8th straight game.
Donnie Matt did it too, didn't he?
1987. Griffey did it in 93. It was on this date in 93 that he hit a homer in his 8th straight game. The other guy's name doesn't really fit. 1956, Pittsburgh Pirates, Dale Long. In fact, if anyone knows the name Dale Long, it's because they've seen that record. That's the only thing he ever did of any importance.
Jeez, just bashing Dale Long.
I mean, he's sitting next to Don Mattingly and Ken Griffey Jr.
The only thing he did of any importance.
Of any notoriety.
The guy was a complete wart on the ass of humanity his entire life.
Look,
and he back-assed into 8 straight games with a homer.
I sat across
Despicable man.
Led the league in triples in 1955. Is that not
okay.
a note?
Did not take care of his kids. Wouldn't help a lady across the street.
The only thing he did of any importance.
I sat across from one.
Was in a hotel with a fire, and you look out, I'm coming through as he shoved his way through women and children.
Career
Just a real piece of
805 OPS.
That's not bad. Okay, I stand corrected. But
I
don't look at any professional athlete like that. It's just quite the opposite.
And you've never been on Baseball Reference before either.
I have, but I just.
You don't even know where the website is, right?
What is it? Does it have,
I'll send you.
Can you do okay? Because can you do like search stuff?
Played 6 years for 6 teams. I mean, in 10 years.
Wow,
that's a lot for a guy who played in the late 50s, early 60s.
That's quite a bit. Yeah, I sat across from one of 2 Raytown South grads to actually play in the major leagues, a pitcher named Stan Waldrich in the 1970s. And he's like, kind of downplaying his career. Yeah, I had a cup of coffee. And I was like, no. You played in the major leagues. I said, you at some point in your life decided, I want to see how good I can be at baseball, and you got to the final round. Anybody, if you've thrown one pitch in the majors, had one at bat in the majors,
totally,
I tip my cap to you. So I don't. That's
Blue Moon.
Yeah.
And then Field of Dreams.
Yep.
He didn't get a hit, but he got into the game, but didn't get an at bat. You still got in the game. Les Norman, dude, go ahead.
I was going to say the other Ray South player, Bob Dernier, who played for the Phillies and famously for the Cubs. The 2 Raytown guys, Jeff Cornell, who's now a professional scout, class of 78, I think, something like that, and the late Bob Allison, who was American League Rookie of the Year in, I think, 1952 or something along those lines. So 4 guys, and each of the last 3 years, I've had an afternoon where I've sat and hung out with the other 3 and Mike Swanson, another Raytown
guy,
who's and that's like
as good a PR guy as there ever was.
I tell you what, you want to feel insignificant. Sit at a table with 3 major league players and a guy with 2 World Series rings, and go, yeah, I saw that game too. Anyway,
yeah.
There's some fascination on Dale Long's Wikipedia page. Left-handed catcher at one point. The Missouri native.
Look at you just crapping all over the local guys.
Not bad.
Holy cow.
My favorite moment is I looked up.
Steal your lunch or something?
I looked up Stan Wall's debut for the Dodgers. He played at Pittsburgh. Came in, his first 3 batters he faced, Willie Stargell, Dave Parker, Richie Zisk. Yeah, nice. Hall of Famer, an MVP, and a 30-homer guy. 1, 2, 3. Got him at 1, 2, 3. So.
By the way, the guy who may have the best list of interesting stories is Mike Swanson.
Oh my goodness!
Because Swanson, you don't realize ridiculous. What all he's done away from when the downtime, like the statistician for the Maui Invitational every year for years.
He's still in
the booth. I turn on a game and I'm like, I thought you were tired, Mike. What the hell?
I had lunch with him recently, and Blair Vahe and I did. And we had somehow brought up the incident of Woody Hayes hitting the Clemson linebacker, right?
Yes. Charlie Bauman.
Yeah, so we're sitting here, we're telling an offshoot story from this story. And he's like, yeah, I was there.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I was a couple years ago, I was watching old, I'm a nerd, I watch old NFL games. And there was a 1978 Monday night game.
Eric Eager spent some of his time
1979
doing that too,
Monday Night Football game, Washington and Dallas from RFK. And at the end, Frank Gifford goes, I want to thank our statistician in the booth tonight, Mike Swanson. I'm like, no way. There's no way that's the same guy. And I text him. He's like, yeah, I was filling in for Steve Hurt or somebody like that. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So you have had a life, my friend.
Yeah, it is impressive.
And the fact that he's an absolute prince.
Yeah. And he was really good at what he did.
He was great.
Great.
The
I mean,
goat.
very good for the Royals in the sense that he you know, he wasn't like some snitch or something like that.
Yeah.
He always took care of the Royals, but was always good to work with and would help you if he could and would tell you why he couldn't if he couldn't. And that's all you can ask for.
Best that there ever was at that.
Yeah. Always enjoyed it. You know, there've been some good ones. I thought Bob Moore was.
Oh yeah.
You know, some people get sideways with Bob, but I don't think they probably deserve to be sideways. Bob Moore was a prince to deal with the Chiefs. You know, we got to work with the ones that are now, so we'll wait till they're done, and then we'll weigh in on them. But been some good ones around here for sure. The Royals trade deadline. Much ado about nothing. John Schreiber and Lane Thomas are going to go, and that's it. Or are we going to see something?
Yeah,
cooking.
I think it's feeling more and more like it's going to be, you know, the rental pieces are sold, but this thought of whether, I mean, look, and JJ Picola has been out there saying this, that they don't have intentions to trade the guys that are beyond because they feel like they're ready to compete again next year, which you and I had that conversation last week about the reasons why they really need to step back and ask themselves, is that the right path forward? But it just, I mean, the later it gets, I think, and obviously the deadline's of a few days later this year, but it's still, to me, is just leaning more and more that way. Now, some of this stuff could be affected by some other teams as well, some other potential selling teams as well. Are the Tigers going to trade Seaboldt, for example? And
Passan went through a list of pitchers that he thought would be moved and that were better than Waka, and he got to what did he get to, about 6?
But some of those are like Seaboldt's a great example of a guy. Tigers need to sell. Do they think they need to sell? You know, I mean, it was 5 years ago that the Angels decided not to sell Ohtani for no apparent, like, teams make really weird decisions. They have really tough time parting with their best players this time of year. But it's the right move. That doesn't mean they'll make it. And if he's off the market, and there's a couple others too, that if they're off the market, maybe a team does get a little bit more desperate, and the Royals are like, okay, didn't want to trade this guy, but this is too good to pass up.
Yeah, I think that
but I do think it requires that scenario. Sorry to interrupt, but I do think that's the scenario we're looking at in order for them to trade like a Michael Waka.
You think it needs to be?
I think they're going to have to be overwhelmed. Like, I don't think the Royals are on the phone calling, saying, Michael Waka's available, what do you got for us?
I think that's a flaw.
Well, I mean, you and I talked about that at length last week because I agree. Like, I think that game plan requires you to the rest of your roster to be ready to go for next year, and I just don't know that they're there.
And the kind of deal that you described that might get it done is the kind of deal you probably have to call to get. That they're not going to come, hey, we've got this deal. We're going to give you everything for.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the kind of deal that I think would be more likely to happen if the Royals called them and said, "What do you got?"
I think
Let's work
it's
out.
Probably receiving a call of interest first, and then saying, "Here's what it would take." And obviously, negotiations are negotiations. Where you start and where you finish are a different spot, but it at least has to be within the ballpark of reality for the other team to call back and say, okay, here's our counter proposal to what you're looking. What guys we know what guys you like based on what you asked for, and here's what we can actually part with. And then the Royals have a real decision to make. And that decision should come down to the reality of where you are next year. And I don't think that this team is, a 90-win team next year, absent major additions. And the more and more you hear about where the CBA is or talks are or lack thereof, shouldn't that make teams more motivated to look like for 28? And I'm not saying don't punt on 27, but if that has the potential to be a year that's either shortened, in which case variance comes into play even more, because baseball tries to subtract the variance by playing 162 games. And I thought last year, last 2 Chiefs seasons have been multiplied by variance. When you win all the 1-score games and basically go 15-1, and then last year, and the Mahomes starts of 12 games, all but 2 of them, they had at least a 50% win probability in the fourth quarter at some point. And they won half of the I mean, you go 6-6. Like, baseball subtracts that from 100. You could have a lot of variance in next year's season if it's a truncated season by the CBA. I just wonder like how teams, if they are factoring that in, because they probably should be factoring that in and saying, okay, maybe, rallying up the best roster for next year isn't necessarily the best idea.
Hey, we are in agreement on that. I think you just have to. All you have to do is write your team up on the board for 27 and say, is this going to work? I will say this. I remember the 2020 season, and I remember people saying, well, it's going to be a short year, and, so, all you got to do is do this or that, and they're going to have extra playoff teams. And I'm like, they're not good enough. Like, what are they? And they're going to make a run at it. And it was literally probably one of the final nails in the Dayton Moore coffin. I mean, as a general manager, I'm not trying to be,
Yeah, because that affected his – what was it? The 19 draft class was affected by those decisions.
I just, I think they, this, okay, here we go. We got a shot at this. Like, don't make your decisions based upon building a great baseball organization, no matter how long it takes. Tell your owner, this is my plan. This is how I'm going to do it, and then do it.
Because the move they made is the other direction. We're not going to be very good. We got to do this right now.
Yeah. I mean, and Passon and I talked about this. Like, I think the mistake they have made, like 24 surprised them. They knew they were doing some things well, but it surprised them. And then at the end, they decided, nope, this is our championship core. And it's been diminishing returns ever since. And then, and part of that was injuries, and yes, that's true. But 24 was a miraculously healthy year.
Yeah.
So if you needed to look at 24 and go, okay, this was a fun year. It got us back. But we still got a lot of building to do. And that should have been what you told John Sherman, is like, listen, we can't run this back. It's just not going to happen. We're going to try. We're going to put these pieces in place. This is where we think we're making, strides, but we have to do these things. And in a way, like they kind of outperform. I mean, based on what they're doing this year and based on what they're doing in 23, the outliers are 24 and 25. Even 25 is like, well, I know you had some injuries, but I mean, they did a nice job of dodging the Anthony Santander bullet. I mean, they were trying to get him and he flopped, and so they've done a lot of things right, but I think I don't think they see what's really looking back at them in the mirror.
Yeah, but I hope that their analysis of this year is not that injuries cost them, because they have been really injured over the course of the year. I mean, you go through who they anticipated being their opening day lineup. I mean, I say anticipated because remember they faced a lefty, Chris Sale, in the first games, like Jack Caglione, for example, wasn't started. But you anticipated him starting more than 81 games. So of the rest of that group, I mean, Michael Garcia's been injured on the IL. Bobby Witt Jr. has been on the IL. Whether or not you want to pick Jonathan India as a starting second baseman out for the year, or you want to pick Michael Massey, who opened the year on the IL. Vinny Pasquantino's been on the IL, and Salvi has missed time. So, like, those are your 5 guys not in the outfield. In the outfield, center field, I mean, Kyle Isbell has been on the IL for a long time.
I mean, that's allowed Lane Thomas to play all the time, which has actually been a positive.
Yeah, but my point is, like, you could fool yourself, and then, you go through the rotation, and Reagans is out. You could, and Bubic and your
Berger,
closer has been out.
There's
like, you could fool yourself, I think, into thinking, because it's reality that they have encountered a lot of injuries.
Yes.
That's the excuse from like mid-May on. They were terrible.
They were terrible before it, and
before that, and it also is a reminder of all this talk about it's early in the season. Well, guess what? You need those games early because you're going to get a hit at some point later. And you're going to want those games back, and you can't go back and get those games.
Yeah. I think the other thing, when you talk about those guys, Reagans isn't going to be back next year. Bubic is not under contract. Estevez, you're not going to pick up the option coming off this year after what has happened, so he's not going to be back. Bergert and Kolich aren't going to be ready for the beginning of the season. You might get him later in the year, but every time I see that, every year I take some flyer for $1 or $2 on some hurt pitcher that's supposed to be back in July, and could be back. He's up on he did a throwing thing. Oh, I got Schwellenbach from the Braves, and it's like, oh, now they're saying July 1st. Now it's July 15th. Now it's August 9th. Now it's
Cubs. Is
they like those guys that are supposed to come back in midseason. Who was the last guy who came back midseason from a Tommy John and was like, wow, here we go? It never seems to happen.
And the advantage of coming back is so that it really sets up the next year, is so that you feel more healthy going to the next year, because there is a progression. It's not like you're yourself on your first game back. But, the Royals were 7-16 through 23 games. And for whatever you thought going into the season, I don't know how many people thought they were talented enough to make up 9 games to get back to 500 and then maybe another 9 to make the playoffs in shorter time frame. Like all of a sudden you had 140 games to go, 18 games over 500, and the team you had seen so far was 7-16. And I looked this up a couple weeks ago, and Bobby Witt Jr. is on this pace to have the best 3-year stretch of any Royal in history. He had no home runs when they were 7-16. And Vinny Pasquantino had the 5th lowest average in the league. Salvador Perez had the 4th lowest on base percentage in the league, as they had the worst bullpen, highest bullpen ERA in the league through 23 games. And the rotation was even out of the top 10. And as a lineup, 27th in runs, 25th in on base, 28th in slugging, and as a team overall, 23rd in ERA. Their season's not lost because of the injuries. The injuries prevented them from catching up, but the whole reason they had to catch up is this stuff, and this is when they were healthy.
Yeah, I think they need to recognize they're not quite as good as they think. We need to take a break. Let's do it. Sam McDowell's with us. More with Sam next here in the program. You're in the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Did you see this? Ohio State got $17 million to wear a patch on all their uniforms. Kansas, we heard about a week or two ago, they got $15 million. Am I the only one that thinks the Big 12 making all their teams wear it and they got $16 million? Like, what doesn't compute there? I'm sure there's an element of this contract where, like, well, no, it's not just the jersey on that. There's going to be signage at this game and that game, and then the Big 12 thing is just the whatever company's logo that they're all going to have to wear as a Big 12. But am I the only one that thinks, like, if Kansas can get 15 by themselves and you get 15 other schools and Kansas and you got 16 million, what are we doing?
They got like $1 million per school for it?
Yeah. And they put this out in a release like it was like, look what we did.
I thought that whenever they had released, like, they're trying to rebrand the name of the games. What is that? You seen that?
No.
Yeah. And but whatever it was, that number surprised me.
I'm putting in, I want to make sure I'm getting these numbers right. They became the first major conference to sell a co-branded corporate logo patches to all jerseys.
So
value roughly $20 million.
Okay.
Annually. But still, if Kansas got 15 selling just them, and Ohio State got 17, and you sold the whole conference and you only got 20?
See, like, and the thing I'm talking about is
Big 12 and Monster Energy logo patches.
Yeah, it's Monster. The Monster Energy is also, they're renaming the regular seasons as Monster Energy Big 12 football and Monster Energy Big 12 basketball. I can tell you where that will not appear in print. Will that appear on the radio?
No.
Not paying me anything.
Do I say GEHA or do I say DEA?
Every time. That was always my argument, Curtis, was you could advertise in the Star.
Yeah.
We sell advertising.
That was in the old Keith Olbermann, Dan Patrick book 30 years ago. Your Name Here Stadium, because I'll call it the Vet. They're not paying me for anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Dime.
Yeah.
But who's going to call it the Big 12
Monster
football? I can't even say it. I give up.
Sam, I'll see you on